Hey guys, welcome to the groovy music show. I don't know what this is. No, welcome to Old Games on a weekday on the channel Mark W. Rob Bob presents. I'm Mark W. as always, and as usual, Rob Bob doesn't usually join me on these old game streams, but I'm doing one now. Yeah, I'm gonna play the Archon games tonight. I just had this random itch to play the Archon game, and I thought, let's make a whole stream of it, rather than playing like a generalized Commodore stream or Atari stream, and throwing those in a little bit. I feel like they deserve their own stream. Why both games, though? Well, I feel like the first one, I can pretty much, I don't know, show everything I want to show in it within probably less than an hour. And then we might as well, you know, pile on Archon II is my thought. So we'll play both the games, basically. Eric is saying hello in the chat. He mentioned there's some new XP thing going on. Yeah, if I click on Eric Johnson, it says he has a crown and it says #1. So he's the top fan. Does that mean of this particular stream or the channel in general? And he has 75 XP. Before it said 50. Maybe you just get XP for chatting or sitting there in the chat. I don't know. It's strange. And he also says C64 streams are always a favorite. Yeah, I always love bringing out this machine. It's one of my favorites to emulate and play games for, of course. Yeah, what is there to say about the Archon games? They're all-time classics for sure, bro. I thought it might be fun to review the manuals a little bit, though, because I've always kind of played the game without reviewing the manuals, and you know, I am a little bit rusty, so I thought it might be a nice thing to do. Also, I like to do that in general on this channel. If we're gonna like do a sort of a deep dive into a game rather than like playing it for just a few minutes, I like to check out the manual, especially if there's any kind of complexity to the game. If I'm playing Donkey Kong, I mean, I don't really need to read the manual of Donkey Kong, but maybe Archon deserves a little bit of time too. And Archon 2 is even more complex than Archon 1. By the way, which is the better game? It's a subject I struggle with. It's a philosophical problem that I'm always waffling on. Here's how I grew up. I played this game first, Archon 1, and then I played Archon 2, and I was like, wow, Archon 2 is better. It's got all this new stuff. And it is definitely a more advanced game than Archon 1. It kind of develops the game into something more complex. You have these, each side in well, I don't want to get into too much in the gameplay yet, but it's deeper and more complex. But as I, you know, entered this age of emulation and started revisiting old games, which I started doing maybe like 20 years ago at this point, I started to appreciate the original game more. Because Archon 2, as advanced and lovely as it is, and it is a great game, it tends to have kind of a flow to it that's not as fast-paced as Archon. In other words, Archon, you know, you have these two armies and you kill each other and there's no coming back from that, with the exception of you have the magical spell to revive one of your units one time. Whereas in Archon 2, something I almost like to compare it to is Magic the Gathering, where you're these two wizards, or sets of wizards in Archon 2, you each have 4 wizards, and you're summoning creatures. You have a mana meter, and you're summoning creatures, and you're gathering mana constantly, as long as you have guys on the power points. And you fight, and you lose units, and you summon more, and you fight, and you gain more control of the board, and then the enemy summons units and knocks off your guys, and you basically it's a grind. It's kind of a war of attrition. It's not a bad game at all, but overall I think Archon wins because it is fast-paced and intense. That's my opinion. Archon 2 is just a little bit too much of a war of attrition. Anyway, why don't we dig through the manual of Archon, the original. Now I do legit own both of these games, but they're somewhere not here right now. All right, so here we go. This is the strategy screen. Yeah, and this game always gets compared to chess because superficially it looks a lot like chess. I feel like beyond the superficial, it bears no resemblance really. You know, what do you do in this game? You have these two ranks of units on your side. You can play the light side or the dark side, and you move around on a chessboard-like thing, but other than that superficial resemblance, there's not much else going on. And when 2 units meet, you fight in a little action mode sort of a thing. Like the screen zooms into the combat. It's real time. You're shooting each other. Yeah, why don't we just dig into the manual here? And it's not a big manual. Even though this game's a little more complex than, say, Donkey Kong. We could probably read this in less than 5 minutes. And hey, Ryan is in the chat. RJNC. Do you have any experience yet, Ryan? I guess Eric wins because he was here first. I don't know. Let's see. The game, Archon. I'm going to draw on the screen just for Ryan. Archon depicts the eternal struggle between light and darkness, and the contest of action and strategy between opposing forces wrought from myth and legend. The light side and the dark side are equal in number, balanced in strength, but not identical. You could argue that they're not perfectly balanced. People do talk about that sometimes. Their aim, however, is the same: conquest of the 5 power points or the elimination of the opposite side. Icons. The various fantastic creatures you command are represented by specific images, icons, stylized pictures of knights, goblins, manticores, and the like. There are 18 icons, a total of 8 different kinds of each on each side. None of yours are identical to any of the icons on the other side. Technically true, yes. Some of them bear a very close resemblance. Okay, I guess they're talking about the icon graphics specifically. Yeah, so there's no duplicates between the 2 sides. The 2 screens. Archon is played on 2 screens. On one, the strategy screen, you and your opponent take turns maneuvering your icons into favorable positions. When you place an icon on a square already occupied by one of your opponent's icons, the game shifts temporarily to the second display, the combat arena. Hostilities. In old-fashioned and, admit it, somewhat dull board games, chess, backgammon, and they're boo, I don't think board games are dull. I disagree with that. Anyway, the defending piece gets removed quietly from the board, and the attacker wins the battle in the square without a blow being struck. In Archon, we do not allow such docility, such rank defeatism on the part of the defender. No, if you want that square, you have to fight for it. When you try to occupy a square held by the enemy, the disputed square expands to fill the entire screen, and then, in the words of a certain orange-skinned monster of comic book fame, it's clobbering time. That's a strange reference. I don't know why I find that so strange. Okay, I don't know. It's probably not. Because people like to quote the thing back then. Anyway, this board makes it look like some abstract, well, board game. This screen here, I mean, it's a diagram, but I'm not sure why they draw it like this, these hexes and stuff. That's weird looking. Anyway, it tells you the ranks in words for some reason. Valkyrie, Golem, I'm not going to go through them all, but this is the light side over here, and this is the dark side over here. And as you can see, the light side has, you know, I don't know how to explain it. Things that sound like orderly, like knights and archers. And the monsters they do have are the kind that are generally associated in a positive light, like a Valkyrie and a Golem. I don't know about the Golems generally being a positive thing in mythology, but I don't know. Phoenix. But on the other side, you have the dark creatures, the trolls and the basilisks and the banshees and the goblins, etc. So essentially, it's good versus evil. The initial strategy screen. Archon's strategy screen changes. While some squares are always white or always black. Oh, this is why they have the hexy thingies here. Others, luminance squares marked in the hex in figure 2, vary in brightness throughout the game in a simple pattern. Black, dark, barely light, light, white, and the reverse. Back and forth. Throughout the game, the cycle continues, the luminance shifting after every other turn. So basically, it almost feels like the sun rising and setting. Your fortunes in the game tend to ebb and flow with the luminosity cycle. This is because icons on the light side are harder to defeat on light squares than on dark ones. Conversely, dark side icons are stronger on dark squares and weakest on the white ones. I think we got some thunder suddenly happening here in New York. PowerPoints. The 5 PowerPoints are indicated on the screen by flashing red symbols. Are they red in the game? I don't think they are. Anyway. Icons on PowerPoints heal faster than usual and are protected from the effects of magic spells. If your icons occupy all 5 PowerPoints, you win the game. So that's kind of the goal. That's one of the goals. You can kill each other entirely, or you can occupy all 5 of these PowerPoints. And you start with Well, the light side starts with this one occupied by their wizard. The wizard has great power. And the dark side, you know, kind of as a mirror image, has their sorceress, also a powerful piece, has this space occupied. So you essentially have to capture 4 additional spaces. Though you can lose your wizard or sorcerer. Typically they sit there casting spells, but not always. Ryan said board games are for nerds. Movement. If the hollow, square, or frame is on your side, it just means like a cursor, basically. It's your turn. Use your joystick to move the frame atop the icon you want. I'm not going to go over the UI details. You essentially select your piece and move it. Movement comes in 3 flavors: ground, fly, and teleport. Ground movers cannot move through occupied squares. Flyers are restricted only where they land. Flyers can also move diagonally. Ground icons cannot. Only the wizard and sorceress can teleport, but for practical purposes, you can think of them as flyers in disguise. Yeah, I don't know why they added that complication. They could have just made them flyers too. They're essentially the same thing. On any turn, you can move an icon as far as its range allows in any direction or combination of directions. You can stop on any square not already occupied by one of your own icons. If you change your mind while maneuvering a ground mover, you must backtrack. Otherwise, the computer, being very literal-minded, will assume you are trying to extend your move unlawfully. The combat arena. This is where it gets exciting. Combat. Action in the combat arena is immediate and simultaneous. There's no taking turns. Yeah, basically, it is real time. Joysticks direct movement of the icons. Pressing the button indicates an attack, swinging a sword, firing an arrow, casting a fireball in the direction the joystick is pointed. You can attack or move in any of 8 directions: up, down, left. Important, your icon cannot move while the button is pressed. Combat is of 3 general types: knights and goblins, who are kind of analogous to your pawns in chess, if we are attempting a chess analogy, because they're plentiful and kind of wimpy, but you know, kind of useful because you have them in mass and they can contribute. But they have melee weapons, basically. They are sword swingers and club wielders. They must be very near an opponent to inflict damage. The Banshee and the Phoenix. Phoenix, I don't know why I said Phoenix. Is it like a sphere? A phoenix in the shape of a sphere? A phoenix? Inflict damage in a circular area around themselves. That's right, they have like a radius of damage. The longer the opposing icon is in that circle, the greater the damage it sustains. Such area attacks need not be aimed. All the other icons throw missiles of some sort and can consequently do damage from a considerable distance. See the quick reference card. The attack interval. While combat is fast and furious, you can't just fire away as fast as your finger twitches. That's kind of funny because we talk about twitchy action a lot in video game conversations these days. I'm just kind of a little bit amused that they were using that term way back in 1983. I also appreciate the year of this. This is the 8-bit computer era. Like, I think people don't appreciate that. People think of like the early 80s as having nothing but, you know, Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and stuff, those kind of games. But the 8-bit computers really had a lot of deep and complex games. When you play this, you'll see it's not really that crazy complex, but it has some meat on its bones for sure. Anyway, the attack interval. You can't just fire away as fast as your finger twitches. It takes a moment to raise a sword into position to strike, longer to conjure even a fast fireball, and the better part of 2 whole seconds to rip a boulder out of the ground and lift it high enough to throw. We would probably just call that cooldown these days. Every attack has a cooldown time, and it's different for each attack. Pushing the button before your icon is ready to strike will accomplish nothing except to keep your icon from moving. At the exact instant you can launch another attack, the computer rings a bell. Boom! A high note for the light side. Yeah, it's more like a boom! And for the dark side, it's a boom! It's kind of a neat little, trigger to indicate, or indicator, I guess, that you can attack again. The obstacles or barriers in the arena go through luminosity cycles of their own. Be careful, they can be as tricky as an opponent. Normally, a barrier is impenetrable. However, when a cycle changes a barrier's luminance to exactly match the color of the background, the barrier disappears for a few seconds. You can walk over it, shoot past anything, it's gone. That's, well, kind of a complicated way to say that once you're in the combat screen, there's little walls that are there, and they disappear and reappear and stuff like that. That's it. Furthermore, for a few seconds before a barrier vanishes and after it reappears, you can walk or fire a missile through it, but you or the missile will be slowed down. Yeah, that's actually, sometimes they're kind of look, rather than being fully appearing or completely vanished, they look like a bunch of little dots. They're like halfway there. They just slow you down, and they slow down your missiles that you shoot through them as well. If this seems at all confusing, just remember that the more solid a barrier looks, the more solid it is. If you have any doubts, avoid the barriers entirely and get out of the way of oncoming missiles. Life, death, and wounds. The lifelines at either end of the arena indicate the current lifespan, health or strength, of the two battling icons. When an icon is wounded, its matching lifeline is reduced in proportion to the severity of the wound. When its lifeline is gone, the icon is dead and combat is over. Victorious icon returns to the strategy screen in control of the disputed square. However, a seriously wounded icon is easier to defeat the next time it is forced to fight. So in other words, your damage sticks around. Even the strongest icon can be worn down by waves of attackers. On the strategy screen, wounded icons are healed slowly by the simple passage of time, more quickly by resting on a power point, or instantly and completely by a heal spell. Magic. Magic is arguably the most significant strategic element in Archon. Only the two magicians, the wizard and the sorceress, can cast spells, and each mage can cast each spell only once. While the spells are powerful, they have one drawback. Each spell weakens the mage casting it, leaving that mage progressively less able to defend itself against direct attack. That's an interesting thing I don't think I realized. But the mages often, I mean, they start on the power points, and usually the way you play is just leave them there. So I guess you heal up because of the power point, as it mentioned over here, more quickly by resting on a power point. But each spell you can only cast one time for the whole game. A spell may be cast instead of a regular move on the strategy screen. Simply move the frame atop your mage as if you're going to move it. Push the button without moving the icon, however, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get into UI details again. Remember that you can't conjure the same spell more than once, and you can't cast a spell against power points or icons on them. Details are given below. So we have teleport. Remember, you can use each of these only one time, so you got to be careful about not, wasting them. Teleport. This spell teleports any one of your icons any distance from one square on the strategy screen to another. Actions required. I'm going to skip that. You move it to its destination, basically. Restrictions. You can't move an enemy icon. You cannot move onto a square already occupied by one of your own icons. You cannot teleport onto or off a power point. You cannot teleport an imprisoned icon. This kind of sounds more complicated. You move an icon to another place. Power points are anti-magic, and you can only move your own guys. Imprisoned is a special spell we'll get to in a minute. Also, they did make it a little more confusing than it needs to be. The 3 square movement that the mages all have is called teleport. They should have just called it flying. But that's separate from this teleport spell. This is almost like a teleport other, not a teleport spell. I don't know. Heals up one of your units. And it is kind of difficult to tell the health of your guys. You have to kind of keep track of it, I think. Like, it's immediately after a fight, if you get beat up, maybe that's when you want to cast a heal. It's kind of a little bit of a UI issue. You can't just, I think you can anyway. I'll have to remind myself. You can't just put the cursor over a unit and see how healthy they are, or something like that. Shift time. 2 effects are possible. Most often, the spell reverses the flow of time, i.e. the direction of the luminosity cycle of the delta square. I keep saying it, they described it way more complicated than they need to. Squares that had been growing gradually darker will now grow lighter until the cycle has peaked. However, if the spell is cast when the luminosity cycle is at either peak, shift time will cause the cycle to shift abruptly to the opposite extreme, from black to white or vice versa. And so essentially, again, it's like this whole luminosity thing. It's like the sun rising and then it sets. But with shift time, you get to reverse that. What you can do is say it sets and now it's getting lighter again. Well, you can do shift time and it's like you switch the direction of the sun. Now suddenly it's going down again. But it also says if it's already at the extreme, all the way bright or all the way dark, then it just switches to the opposite. Spells exchange. And that is just you switch the positions of 2 icons. Summon elemental. I'm going to kind of just gloss over this a little bit now. I want to get started. It summons a temporary elemental creature. It can be earth, air, fire, or water. You don't get to choose. And you just immediately attack one of the enemy icons. And then the elemental disappears. Revive. This is something that you pretty much definitely want to use at least once a game. I mean, only once. You can only use it once a game. It resurrects a killed unit of yours. Imprison. I'm going to read this one because I don't remember exactly how it works. This spell keeps an icon on the strategy screen from leaving its square. Yeah, they're imprisoned. The icon can fight its attackers in the combat arena, but it cannot be moved off its square. Important, an imprisoned mage cannot cast spells. Okay, imprisonment is temporary. A dark side icon would remain imprisoned until the delta squares turn black. That's right, that's how it works. A light side icon would be freed when the delta square turns white. So going back to the shift time thing, right? If I imprison, let's say I'm the light side, and I want to imprison the dark side's sorceress, what I could do is, you know, make them stay imprisoned for longer. Maybe, remember I said it's like sun is, you know, it's kind of like midnight to midday. As soon as the, perhaps as soon as, you know, we're about to hit midnight again, I do shift time and then it never turns to midnight. It goes back up to extend the prison sentence of the dark side's person. So you can kind of play tricks like that. He's conjuring. It's not even a spell. It's the cancel menu button essentially. They wanted to give it a fancy name. Here's some questions that are fun. I glanced at this before and thought they were a little bit fun. Some of the icons aren't very distinct on my TV, and I'm having trouble telling them apart. What can I do? Buy a new Sony TV, or better yet, a computer monitor. Seriously, if you must put up with the limited resolution of the average television set, some color smudging at certain luminances will make recognition of the icons more difficult. Nonetheless, the icons are quite distinct on most squares, and in a short time they will all be quite distinctive. Indeed, like classmates on the first day of school, despite their initial strangeness, they will soon become so familiar that you'll wonder how you could ever have failed to recognize them instantly. Why does this frame stay on the screen when I'm moving an icon from one square to another? It marks the icon's original location and serves as a point of reference, especially if you change your mind and have to backtrack. I'm having trouble moving my wizard. Yeah, it's because I teleport. My friend casts shift time. The screen changes immediately. When I do it, it waits a turn before anything happens. Why? This is because you had the first move. All luminance changes take place after the second player's turns. That's one of the advantages of playing second. When there are obstacles toward the bottom of the arena, I have trouble running my icon across the lower wall. It doesn't always seem to fit. Sometimes when I try, though, instead of bouncing backward, the barriers pop my icon on through to the other side. True, yup, so what's your question? Okay, I mean, I guess people thought that was a bug or something. They're just kind of like, yep, that's how it works. Okay, I'm gonna gloss over some of these things. Someone's wondering why, if they fire too fast, they don't hear the reload sound. That's because if you're mashing the button, it simply lets you fire when it's time to reload rather than ringing the bell. Yes, you can have a double kill, it mentions. My attacks go in the wrong direction. What? And sometimes I can't fire at all. You're pushing the button while you're still moving your icon. Make sure the joystick is in neutral or at least pointed in the right direction. I don't know what they mean by that exactly. Why does the pause button only work in the combat arena and why only when the computer is playing? Okay. I guess the idea is, sorry, I'm trying to process it myself. It's kind of a detail, it's not too important. I'll just read it instead of trying to put it in my own words. The pause function exists to keep the computer's icon from killing off yours when something outside the computer's knowledge, like the doorbell, requires your attention. It's unnecessary on the strategy screen because the computer takes only a second or two to move, and you can take an unofficial timeout as soon as it's your turn. When your opponents are of the human persuasion, you can ask them to stop for a moment. If they refuse, perhaps you should recruit new opposition. I find that kind of weird. Essentially, when you're in the combat, pause doesn't work if you're playing two-player with the logic of you should just both stop moving the controller. Like, why not just let the pause mode work equally in both against the computer or against a human? I don't know. My archer attacked the dragon on a black square. She got killed, but what she did it She did hit it with an arrow, so I know the dragon was wounded. On my very next turn, I attacked the dragon again, but it was no longer wounded. Why not? This is what we talked about before. They heal a little bit, and if they're on favorable luminescence, they heal faster. In other words, if you're the dark side and your opponent is on a black or a close to black space, it'll heal faster. Why don't trolls in Archon regenerate the way they do in lizards and lunkheads? That's a reference to D&D. They just didn't want to say D&D. And why can't I find the phoenix in my lizards and lunkheads beast book? Because it isn't there. Look, folks, despite what the head dragon might like you to believe, fantasy was not invented in 1974. And L&L's interpretations of mythological beasts are hardly definitive. Role-playing games, L&L, demons and dimwits, monsters and morons, etc. draw their subject matter, if not their game mechanics, from the same sources we do, 5,000 years of myth and legend, and a close reading of certain contemporary writers of fantasy and science fiction. If you don't approve of our trolls, complain to the Troll Union. Why can't I make copies of Archon for my friends? Someone always asks. One answer is that Archon discs are copy protected, but that's begging the question. Blah, blah, blah. They're saying, you know, we need to make money, etc. Royalties are our only income, and every illegal copy of Archon represents money we'll never see, pizzas we won't eat, paperbacks we'll never get to read. We have the same dreams you do, probably. We'd like to be rich and famous, and this seems to be our only chance. When you come up with an original game or a fancy utility, you'll feel the same way. Most of the games you see may be rip-offs of arcade games and other designers' ideas, but ours aren't, for sure. Our games are original products of our own bizarre imaginations and many months of work. We don't rip off other people, and we don't think we deserve to be ripped off either. Thanks from Anne, John, and Paul. Now here are the icon. These are strange drawings that don't match the pixels you'll see in the game. In fact, these make it look worse somehow. Like, I don't know. But this is what they're showing here. The opposing forces. All right, so on the light side, I don't think I want to read every single thing, but we have, this is your wizard. He does all the magic. Got unicorns. They're pretty powerful. They're swift and agile. Archers are okay. Golems are slow, and they have like a slow recharge time, but they throw big boulders that do a lot of damage. We got Valkyries. We got the genie, who's quite powerful. Get one of those. Phoenix. I'm actually not too much of a fan of the Phoenix. Some people like it. You have one of those. You have a million knights, or I guess like 8 of them really. They're the melee guys. And you have kind of, you know, they're pretty balanced, the two sides. You got the dark sides here. The sorceress is just like the wizard. They're exactly equal, except her in combat, her lightning bolts are swifter and surer than his fireballs, if a shade less potent. So her spells are the same as the wizard's, but in combat she's her shots are a little faster but less damaging. The basilisk is kind of analogous to the unicorn on the light side. Manticore is like the archer. The troll is pretty much a mirror image of the golem. Shapeshifter is pretty unique. He's on the dark side. He fills the role of the genie, I guess. Or is it the Valkyrie? No, it can't be the Valkyrie. Okay. But anyway, there's only one shapeshifter, but he automatically changes shape into what you're fighting. It becomes a mirror image. Strongest on squares when the enemy is weakest, turning the enemy's powers against itself. You have to play the shapeshifter a little carefully when you're the dark side. You try to basically attack on a dark square, and then it's like it's an equal match, but you have the dark square on your side to make you fight better and have more life. You can easily lose a shapeshifter by doing something stupid, like attacking a knight, which is the enemy's weakest unit, on a lighter square. They just both whack each other with swords, and you lose your powerful shapeshifter. The dragon, he's kind of a badass. He's kind of analogous to the genie, I would say. Banshee, I think they sort of match up with the Valkyrie, but the Valkyrie shoots. The Banshee has a little radius around her. Whee! It's not fantastic. I don't know. I don't like the radius guys as much as I think other players do. The Phoenix and the Banshee. But you do get 2 Banshees. It's kind of a cool... It's kind of cool in the sense that it's different. I always thought they were a little weak, though. And an interesting thing is, you imagine the Banshee is screaming, right? That's probably what their attack represents in the game universe. I like to think of how in Archon II, they made a siren. You just hold down the button and they sing the game's theme song. But they don't have to be within a radius. They're just singing anywhere on the screen. So usually what the siren does is you hold down the button, Siren controller holds down the button and just tries to get in as much damage before the other player comes over and shoots him. But maybe you try to duck around corners a little bit. I almost think that was their attempt to sort of power up the Banshee. But it's a different game. Goblins are analogous to the Knights. They're pretty much identical. They hit you with their clubs. We got some playing hints here. Alright, I mean... kind of tempted to jump in the game at this point, but let's skim over this real quick. Conservative opening. Moving your unfavorably located icons into more favorably squared. Yeah, more favorable squares. You're going to have some guys on the light side who start in black spaces, and some guys on the dark side will start on white spaces. So one way you can play is to try to get them off of those unfavorable squares right away. They're very vulnerable at that time, especially when somebody uses a summon elemental or teleport to instantly attack them. So you might have a I think, like, for example, the light side has their unicorns. Maybe it says that here. Yeah, the unicorns start on a black square. If you're the light side, you have these strong units of unicorns. They start on a black square. So one way that the dark side can deal with the unicorns is right away at the beginning, try to assassinate them with a summon elemental or a teleport to bring over another unit to just knock them out of the game right away, or at least get one of them out of the way, because they're quite powerful. So that's what they call the conservative opening, when you not try to assassinate, but when you try to protect against such assassinations. Magical assault. Wipe out the strongest enemy icon right off the bat before it can do any harm. Imprison, summon elemental, teleport, reverse time. The first spell holds a victim immobile while you attack with an elemental, and then one of your strongest icons teleported across the board. Monster Romp. This is risky but fun. Just fly or teleport one of your strongest icons, a genie dragon, phoenix shapeshifter, to the other side of the board and take it on a romp and stomp and tour of all the occupied squares unfavorable to the icon stuck on. That's fun. This procedure tends to throw new players into a panic, which is always helpful. Well, if you want to beat on newbies, I guess. General hint, stay on your color. Plan ahead. Most successful attacks require more than one move to execute. Avoid traffic jams. You don't get in your own guy's way. Protect your mage. Sure. Alright, and they get into each spell a little bit. Now they're talking about... That was a strategic playing against. Now they get into tips on in the actual real-time combat. Don't move in straight lines, hit and run, use diagonal shots. Yeah, it can be a little bit tough to do the diagonal shots, I found. Trap your opponent in a corner. Feint. Trying to think of how you could feint. Trick your opponent to attacking by moving into the line of fire momentarily, then in the interval before the enemy icon can attack again, close it and loose your own attack. Confuse your opponent. When at a close range, dodge back and forth to keep from being nailed. This is especially important when you cannot afford an exchange of blows, and is vital for a knight or goblin. And know your icon strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. For specific icons, they have a tip for each. Like wizard and sorceress, you want to avoid in combat because they have the powerful magic, right? Yeah, unicorn and basilisk, speed and distance. Hey there, Dan the man. I'll read your chat in a moment. Archers, arrows are not fast. Golem and trolls, they're slow moving. Their benefits are their long lives and their deadly attacks. So they're slow and they don't reload very quickly. They say you should get close to the enemy and be aggressive. It kind of makes sense. Genie and dragon. You have power to spare here, so be brazen in attack. Avoid the possible entanglements of cluttered terrain when fighting an icon with a fast attack. Valkyrie is basically a tougher archer. Phoenix, yeah, Phoenix is weird. They're a weird one. They puff into a ball of flame and they're invulnerable while they do that. So it's their attack and their defense. Shapeshifter, kind of what I talked about. Yeah, ignore the knights. Avoid white squares. The worst thing is you wind up with your shapeshifter on a white square, then a knight comes and attacks you and kills you. Like, oh, what a waste of a powerful unit. Manticore has the advantage of a broader attack than its counterparts, especially on diagonals. Yep, yep. Banshee. I don't know. I always stung with the Banshees. But you try to close in and hold that radius of their attack on them. You can move while you have the circular attack on, unlike the Phoenix. The Phoenix stands still and does the But the Banshee has this circle around them, and you can track the fleeing opponent as you're doing it. Knight and Goblin, where these infighters are concerned, he who hesitates is dog food. Move quickly but erratically. Getting close and stay there. Dodge back and forth or circle your enemy to avoid return fire, and fluster your opponent. Never stand still and attack constantly. In a Knight Goblin conflict, use feints and stop thrusts. Except in exchange of blows only if you have a significant luminosity advantage. The 4 elementals are quite different from one another. Earth is basically like a golem or troll. The other 3, fire has the fastest and most damaging attack, and water the longest lifespan. Tactically, you can think of fire as a wizard, air as an archer, and water as a manticore. Regardless of which elemental you have, however, be aggressive. Remember that its wounds don't matter since it will not outlast the battle anyway. Yeah, again, the elementals, you cast a spell, summon elemental, then it's a one-shot combat. You say, I'm attacking this guy this turn. They don't live on the strategic board, and they die after the combat anyway. So you just want to get in there and kill the opponent, or at least damage them as much as possible. About the artists. Part of me just wants to skip this and jump in, but hey, they deserve some credits. Let's go over this quickly. Paul Ritchie III. He was only 22 at the time. He's actually a name you'll see in other games. I believe he might have worked on Star Control and that whole series of games. While in high school, he and 2 friends formed Fantasy Art Enterprises to publish a pair of role-playing supplements, the Necronomicon, not Necronomicon, but the Necronomicon and Booty and the Beast. A meeting with John prompted the creation of the Keys of Acheron, a sequel to John's Hellfire Warrior, and some graphic design for other ASI games. Okay, so he worked on some RPG stuff mostly, including a Gamma World module, huh? Anne Westfall is older than Paul. She was raising 2 children, managing a ranch, and growing wine grapes in the Great Sonoma wine region. A shout out to Andy if he's watching. When she decided she needed more of a challenge. Imagine that, you're like, you got kids and you're managing a wine ranch, and then you want to like start making video games. She discovered computers at the age of 30. Her life was never the same. At Morton Technologies, where she helped establish their software division, Discotech. Discotech. She spent 2 years designing, developing, and programming Survey 80, an integrated package of 3 elaborate technical programs for surveyors and subdivision planners. After being enticed by extracurricular considerations, one suspects, by John into joining automated simulation, she entered the world of programming, albeit in BASIC. John Freeman is also older than Paul. A co-founder of Automated Simulation, John was responsible for the design and development of most of that company's games, including 2 award winners, Temple of Apshai. I don't know who did that. I didn't know that. For which he designed the Dungeon Quest system and Star Warrior. His writing credits include the Playboy Winner's Guide to Board Games, the Complete Book of War Games. I think I might have the Complete Book of War Games. Huh? A dozen game manuals, including his favorite Crush, Crumble, and Chop, and various stories and articles. All right. They had a mutual dissatisfaction with the company's direction. They formed Freefall Associates, which built this game, Archon. And I'm going to gloss over some of this stuff. Paul has been accused of being a tall, blonde alien. Okay. In her non-existent spare time, Anne enjoys bird watching, river rafting, and hiking, as well as classical music. They also mentioned Paul likes punk rock. An ardent libertarian, John enjoys that as a proper term. A number of odd distinctions, including the authorship of one of the most obscure science fiction novels ever published, an appearance on 2 of the least known TV programs in the Western world, and a role that must surely have been the lowest budget karate movie ever made. Okay, so he's an actor too. Paul is single but taking applications. John and Anne are married and intend to stay that way. While they are both native Californians, all 3 have lived elsewhere, and no one is eager to repeat the experience. The 3 share a common interest in science fiction and fantasy, dinosaurs, martial arts, games of all sorts, and freelancing. All right, enough of that manual crap. That's the end of it. Let's get into the game. Ooh, that took longer than I thought. That's cool. It was a fun read. And hello to Dan, who says, I played Archon so much as a kid, never read the manual, though. Just messed around and tried everything until I figured it out. Interesting that it gives some extra strategies I never thought of. Nice. All right, cool. Yeah, let's just get into it now. Enough of that. So this cracked version I have will have a trainer, I believe. So it'll say, hey, do you want to put on this cheat and that cheat? I'm not going to do any of that unless for some reason it sounds appealing after I play it, honestly, first. But yeah, I plan on playing Archon 1. Maybe I'll try both sides, light and dark. And then I'll move on to Archon 2. Archon 2 has more options, I believe. It has difficulty levels. Yeah. And by the way, the stream is brought to you by Farm Floor. This is a cider, a dry table cider. I don't know what a table cider means, but it is tart and earthy. This was a gift from my buddy Ryan, who came over on Saturday for my big board game evening. Andy was there too. I don't know if Andy's in the chat. Yeah, Electronic Arts. This is the company was free fall. What do they call free fall software? But yeah, they got EA to publish it, and that's what EA was kind of known for. They published these small sort of masterpieces made by small time developers, and they polished it. Helped them produce a nice box and reach a larger audience that they probably would not have reached otherwise. And my cider is foaming over a little bit. It really is tart. Ooh. Wow. Interesting. Oh, it says sour cider here. Okay. Huh. I could put this in warp speed mode, which will make the emulator run as fast as possible, but I'm afraid I'm going to miss the beautiful intro. Dan says, absolutely love the opening title screen music on this game, even though it was short. Yeah. And this is going to make me sound like the oldest fart in the world, but there was something, even though this load time sucks, it kind of built up the anticipation, so it made you appreciate it when it loaded. It was like, yeah, the game loaded, and then suddenly you get this nice theme song playing, and it's like, all right, this is awesome. Of course, these days, we just want it to load. Don't get me wrong, we wanted it to just load right away back then, too. But somehow building up the anticipation was fun in a way. You can tell by the way the patterns change on the EOA here, or EA, whatever it is. You can tell how it's progressing, sort of. Or at least it gives you the indication that something's happening. Apparently it's not supposed to be EOA, by the way. I don't know what the circle is supposed to be. That's what we always interpreted as kids. We were like, well, I guess they like to abbreviate it as EOA. Anyway, I am kind of thinking I might want to just warp speed it. I was hoping it would be like 1 minute. It just seems like it's taking 2 or 3 minutes and counting at this point. You know what? You can always reset it, I think. I think if you hit like a run stop or something, it'll reset the title screen. So let me see if I can do that. I'm also kind of just warp speeding it and stopping it. Or maybe it's locking up. I mean, it shouldn't take this long. I tested it before. And it worked. Maybe because I was like waiting so long on that crack screen, it screwed up. Somehow it shouldn't take this long at warp speed, that's for sure. All right, let me just try resetting the whole computer. Sorry about this. Weird. Smart attach, Archon, auto start. Let's go. A warp speed right here. Warp speed. Eric says it taught us patience. Yeah, for sure. Eric is apparently the king. He has all the experience. He is the top fan. I don't know why you guys aren't getting experience, or how is that even determined? This is a new thing in YouTube. But it says Eric is #1 with a crown, and he has 75 XP. All right, so hopefully this works better this time. I don't know. Was I just not patient enough even when I had warp speed on? Christ, this freaking worked a moment ago. I tried it. Alright, it might be time to just quit the emulator and try again. I'm not really getting it. Alright, so sorry for the pain in the butt here. Let me exit the emulator and try again. But yeah, I definitely tested it. So it should work. Smart attach, Archon, auto start. While I was doing that, I'll resize my window accordingly. Dan DeMan says one of the longest load screens I remember as a kid was Indiana Jones on the C64. So slow, but it drew the Indiana Jones picture title screen pixel by pixel pixel line by line, and I was fascinated watching. That's kind of fun. Dedicated to the memory of somebody. Please tell me it's gonna work. Now, while I was doing that, I might as well get my joystick working. I have to select game controller for Android. I have this controller that report says it's for Android, although it's just a USB joystick. I don't get why it would be for Android. And you can use it on, you know, Windows, Mac OS, Linux. This is disappointing. Maybe I'll be a little more patient. I don't know. Maybe I'm underestimating how long it took. But I should have alternate ROMs I can try. Let me check it. I thought I just loaded the one I had right here, though. So I'm not really getting the issue here. This is stupid. The only thing different I'm doing is I have my joystick plugged in. That shouldn't make a difference. Hey there, Rick A. Rick A says, cool Archon. Love the music to this. Yeah, if I can get it loading. Again, I tested it before the stream, so it's really bizarre. Let me see if I do have an alternate disk image or something. I have the whole TOSEC or TUSEC collection. What do I want? A D64? Isn't D64 a disk image? I don't know. Let me try this. No, not that. Excuse me. It's still going while I'm in this menu, by the way, so if it happens to load, then sure. Great. Not sure which format I thought it was called D64, but I don't see that as a thing here. PRG. I don't know what a PRG is, but here it is. Archon. It seems to have a lot of stuff, so I'm assuming it's going to have Archon. Here we go. Archon. Here's multiple Archons I could try. All right, fine. I guess we'll try this guy. Warp speed mode again. Run, it doesn't work at that. Okay. This sucks. Okay. Well. I'm not really sure what a PRG is, though, so. D64 is what I'm used to. I don't know why I don't have a directory for that. It's just worked. Jeez. Oh, here they are. I named it AAA for the D64 because that's the ones I want to use most. It would sort to the top that way, but then I couldn't find it stupidly. All right, anyway, let's go for Archon in this direct. There's got to be one of them that works. Arcade Flight Simulator. Archon, D64. We'll go with the first one here. Go. Appreciate you guys being patient with me. Oops, that's because I'm moving the joystick. Here we go. Yay! Let me take off warp speed. Now I want to see if I can reset it. I think it's a button you can press to reset. Oh no, I just started it. Shoot. Isn't there like a restore key? Oh man. Can I do like a soft reset maybe? Would that do it? Maybe I shouldn't mess with it. Ugh. All right. Let me just load it again and I won't rush it because everybody wants to hear that title screen music. But at least we know this one works. Do, 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 do. Here it comes. Here it comes. I'll take off warp speed. Yeah. Shows the golem chasing the goblin on the right, and the reverse, the troll chasing a knight on the other side. So just introducing us to the units. It's pretty cool little intro. It goes quickly, but you can see each type. Got a genie, dragon, phoenix, shapeshifter, and lastly the wizard and sorceress. Rick A says always play the dark side on this game. I think I'm better with the dark side. I think because I just don't like the Phoenix too much. But I'm going to try playing both sides. So, you can play 2-player, computer light, or computer dark. I will go with computer dark, so I am light. It's kind of a weird way you have to think about it. You decide which one the computer's playing. Light first or dark first. So if whoever goes first has the time shifting working in the opposite direction. I think that's how it works. All right, so I'm going to go computer dark first. And my goal, what I'm hoping to achieve is I'm going to beat the computer as the light player, then as the dark. And then I'll move on to Archon II perhaps. But we'll see what I'm going to play it by ear to some degree. All right. So he's starting by moving his goblin onto black space. Probably he wants to free up maybe, well, I don't know what he's trying to do. So I'm just getting the hang of this after not playing this for a while. So I'm not inclined to play the aggressive approach where I like summon elemental right on the manticore here or something. But I will try to perhaps free up my unicorn and get it onto a white space. But I have to unblock him because this is a ground troop. So I got to do something like this. Move the knight out of the way first. All right, let's get this unicorn safe on a white space. He's getting his banshee out of the white space as well. I'll do the same sort of thing with the other unicorn, I guess. Oops, I didn't mean to put the knight in the black space. Oh well, knights are disposable. I just had a little brain fart there. Too much tart cider. Okay, he's claimed the central power point already. He might just use that as a place to attack from later because the dragon has move, I think, fly 5. That's pretty far. He moved them from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it's 4. So he can pretty much attack the wizard next turn if he wants to. I could get aggressive and attack him. I feel like I'm not ready for such a high stakes and high speed battle, but maybe I should just go for it anyway. Should I do a unicorn against dragon on the greenish? Greenish is kind of in the middle. I think slightly towards the light side. I'm kind of scared I'm going to use a unicorn, but lose a unicorn. But let's just go for it. All right, here we go. The computer does have a habit of getting stuck on the barriers, so you can take advantage of that problem it has. I just got a nasty hit. All right, I killed it. Took some damage, but I killed the powerful dragon. So, all right. Now, I'm thinking he's probably going to leap on just pounce on my unicorn right now. No, actually revived his dragon. But I do want my unicorn to heal up. So they heal up on, what was it, the power points and the light squares? Let me just review that in the rules real quick. I'm trying to think, is it worthwhile to move him to the light square? Or do I maybe just want to keep him on the PowerPoint? Let me just check this out quick. They're healed slowly by the passage of time, more quickly by resting on a PowerPoint, and instantly and completely by a heal spell. Okay, so they don't actually heal up just because they're on a light space, but the PowerPoint would heal them. So I could leave them there a little bit longer. All right. And so I'm going to continue doing what the manual calls the conservative approach and move some of my units on these changing squares over to white spaces. So right now, the Phoenix is on a dark space, but my Genie is on a light space. Okay. Yeah, so I wish that we could, like, to me it's kind of a bug. The computer gets caught on those barriers a lot more than it should, and you can take advantage of that. So I almost wish I could, like, hack the ROM and just fix that one thing, or make it like an optional difficulty level. But anyway, here's the Phoenix. The Phoenix can move 5. Look at this, fly 5. So I can pretty much cover like 60% of the board, even if I'm all the way at the left edge. I'm going to put him on a light space. Now I should have maybe moved off. I was just thinking that. Now the dragon can attack my unicorn on a dark space, so I might be doomed. Oof. Oh. Oh. Okay, wow. Take that, dragon. All right, that feels good. I still have some skill in this game. But do I want to just kind of leave the unicorn on that black PowerPoint as a flex? I think I'm going to leave him there, bro. I should start claiming more PowerPoints, I guess. I mean, black is not the best time to do it usually, but... Should we use a spell for the fun of it? Let's do that. Let's go summon Elemental on one of those Manticores who's still on a white space. Okay, we got an Earth Elemental. They're essentially like the golems and trolls. I like the artwork. Alright, let's get them. So they're kind of slow and clunky, but they do a lot of damage. And hey, a white space. Whoa. Manticore is not slow and clunky. Hey, you know, he did the job. He killed it. They don't stay alive anyway after the battle, so it was worth it. That's a success. He's going to summon an Elemental to kill my Phoenix. Alright, I kind of suck with the Phoenixes. Let's see what I can do. Okay. Did some damage. Oh, I took some damage. Alright, that was a good attack. Alright, took him out. Took some damage, but took out the enemy. Dan Demand said this was my childhood version of a more action-packed Battle Chess, way before Battle Chess came out on PC 5 years later. I mean, Battle Chess is cool, but it's just chess with window dressing, really. This is a whole other game, so I like it. Anyway, yeah, let's start claiming PowerPoints and see what we can do. The tide of time is such that the sun is rising, so things are going to get lighter and thus more favorable. And, you know, the Phoenix could use a heal here, so the PowerPoint will heal him up. You're clear on the shapeshifter, okay. Ah! Ah, got me, alright. Trying to think, should I try to pounce on him now? How fast does he heal? Like, it doesn't really say exactly in the map. He heals faster on the PowerPoint, but I'm wondering if it's worth pouncing him on him now just so that he doesn't heal too much. On the other hand, what I could do is wait for it to be like maybe white and just make the knight attack him. How much move does the knights have? Is it 3 or 4? I think it's just 3 probably. See if the manual mentions it. It doesn't say. I think it mentioned there's a reference card that I don't actually have. Anyway, I think I'll claim the bottom PowerPoint, then try to take out the shapeshifter when things turn light. If he still hangs around there, he might not. So let's move the archer here. Okay, he's moving it off already. He's gonna attack one of my random knights on the black. Oh, whatever, I don't care. You know, I got in damage and I lost the worst unit that I don't care about at all. So, all right, let's get the. I'm actually thinking of aggressively attacking with the genie. The genie is gonna get poised to attack sorcerers, and then someone else will claim the middle space here. Rick says shapeshifters automatically heal due to always being a different creature for every fight. Oh, is that true? They like automatically have the max health for that creature or something. Let me see if it mentions that in the manual. Where is that? The shapeshifter, it's a doppelganger, a demonic creature without true shape or form, save what it steals from its enemies. In battle, it becomes a mirror image of its opponent. Strongest on squares where its enemy is weakest, turning the enemy's powers against itself. It has no fixed lifespan. All wounds that do not prove fatal will heal as soon as it assumes a new form. Oh, good call there, Rick. All right. So there's no such thing as a weakened shapeshifter. Good to know. All right, let's get poised to attack the sorceress. Let's see if we can pull that off. Here comes the shapeshifter going after my Valkyrie on a black space. Yeah, okay. Ah. Oh, damn. And I did pretty good, but if the shapeshifter heals, it was kind of all for naught. Okay, I mean, he can try to pounce on my wizard next. I feel better about it being on a white space, though. Let's move the unicorn here. Next turn, go for the win by genie to sorcerer. He's gonna try to get my wizard, isn't he? He's gonna. Oh, okay, just picking off another knight on a black space. Let's see if I can. I was gonna try to get him to attack and miss, and then counterattack. So much for that. All right, so this is for the win right here. I could easily lose though. Yeah, let's see what happens. Genie to sorceress, black space. I've done this battle before and won it. Sorceress's fast attack can be challenging to deal with. I suck at estimating the diagonals. What kind of out of practice was that? Alright, so that hurt. But I'm still in it. Alright, I'll take out this shapeshifter. Ah, jeez. Yeah, alright. Shapeshifter's gone. Whew. Alright, now I just need to finish off this sorceress, but unfortunately I don't have anybody in position. I could revive someone like the genie, or the unicorn who bit it. I find the unicorns to be really good. Let's do her. I think it's valid to resurrect a genie though, so let's do it. Place it was in the charmed square. I don't know what that means, but I think you can only put it next to the wizard. Is that the idea? Yeah. Alright, so things are getting darker. I might just imprison. You gotta imprison the genie. Okay, alright. What I might do is do shift time now, so it'll go back to lighter, and that also means my genie will get unimprisoned. Excuse me, faster. let's do that. Shift time. Okay, so now instead of getting darker, it's getting lighter. Beautiful. Conjures a spell. Shift. Okay. Well played. Well played. All right. All right. Let's get this Valkyrie out of here. Oh, Ryan is out. All right. Good night, Mr. Ryan. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, my man. See you next time. Ah. Oh. Jeez. Ah. Almost cornered me when I was out of ammo. Whew. Glad I got out of that. Oh. Woo! That was close. All right, all right. Still in it. I mean, I make it like I'm doing bad. I'm not doing bad. I don't know how to get at the sorcerers right now, though. I feel like all I can do is maybe march the unicorn at her, or wait for the genie to become unimprisoned. It's gonna take a while. I'm gonna take some damage, or I could very slowly like march the golem over. I think my best bet is just to go for it with the unicorn. If I can knock her out, I won't automatically win, but I'll be doing great. I'll be doing very fine, I think. What other spells can I do? I can do teleport. I mean, I could just teleport like the golem right at one of these white squares. I mean, the golem's not fast and not one of my best units. I think it pretty much has to be the genie or the unicorn going for it, knowing my own personal strengths and weaknesses at the game. I kind of don't like freeing up the PowerPoint, and well, let's just do it. You know, you got to take risks, right? Let's just do it. Here we go. All right. Ah, shit. Ah. Yeah! Sorcerer's down. All right, now they're going to pounce on this unicorn. Watch this. They're just going to go, hey, get out of here. Here comes the Basil. Yep. All right. Well, you know what? Your sorceress is dead. So even if I lose the unicorn, I consider that to be a net win. All right, I lost the unicorn. Too bad it's getting darker now. This guy's still imprisoned. I'll advance to Golem. Round 3 kind of sucks, but I feel like if I can get through this dark phase, I'll be good from there. If I can survive it, in other words. Yeah, they're getting stuck on these barriers is what really gives me the edge. Get away, you Banshee. Alright, look out the Banshee. Yeah, that was their sort of radius attack I was describing earlier. It's not that great, unfortunately. Fortunately for me right there, but in general, I feel like they're not very great troops. Alright, what other spells are available? Teleport, Cease Conjuring, I didn't use Imprison yet, huh? Exchange, heal, okay. I don't know. I can't exchange someone who's imprisoned, right? Teleport might be fun. I'll stand pat for the moment and just they want to claim the power. I might wait till the darkness subsides. Let's get this golem further advanced. Okay, they're probably gonna go for my Phoenix now. Yeah, I don't know if the Phoenix will survive this actually. Okay. Whew, that was a close one. A little too slow on the trigger there. Oh, alright. Yeah, I'm not really that great with the Phoenix. I can definitely appreciate them, in theory. Alright, my poor genie's still in prison. Let's just advance some more troops on white spaces. Alright, things are getting lighter out. Goblin's trying to take out my archer. I mean, I do feel like he's probably getting pretty desperate at this point. He's only got a few good troops left. Ah! Ah, shit, I meant to shoot left. I would have had him, but I accidentally angled it downward diagonally. Okay. I definitely don't have this nailed. Okay. Just that one battle suddenly made me a little demoralized. Alright, alright. I'm gonna hang in there, though. Gotta hang in there, right? Okay, Valkyrie's gonna grab this one. Come bring it on, fools. We're gonna take out this Manticore with the archer. Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can wrap this up. I feel like everyone they have left except the Manticore and the Trolls is going to be a pushover for me. So those are the only issues I currently got. I just don't have the mobility I'd like. Let's go with teleporters on there. You know, I'm going to actually make this Valkyrie. Oh, only 3. And you can't cancel the move. I hate that. Damn it. Yeah, it's one thing I've always hated about this game is for some reason I thought she had 4, but now I can't cancel it. I want to go pick off this goblin. So like what am I gonna do with her now? I don't know. I don't want to attack one of these guys in a black square. I guess I'm just gonna free up the power point for no reason. Okay, now should be able to attack that goblin, I guess. Cool. Okay, the genie is free. That makes me feel better. Should we teleport it to the Manticore? Ah! I mean, to one space away from the Manticore. I'm tempted to do that. And then just make the... If I can win that fight, make the golem finish the game right here. Alright, let's see if we can do that. I might not win, though. Black is hard. Here we go. We're going for it. Now, someone might attack him before I can move to the Manticore space. Oh, I should have put it on the white right above. Alright, I'm gonna try it. We'll see what happens. Manticores are pretty nasty. They're basically the unicorns of the dark side. Yeah, Manticores, I meant basilisks. Oof. Alright. Now they're gonna pounce on him again. That's how they do it. The troll's gonna walk over. They don't let you sit on that black power point. Oh, the troll can't reach this turn. A goblin can, though. Okay, here we go. Here comes the goblin. A little desperate, but you know, he might do it. All I have to do is miss a few times. Ah. Okay. Alright, I think we got this now. Can the golem just waltz in? Yep, we got it. We win. We win. Whew. That was harder than I anticipated. I mean, back in the day, I was always able to win consistently, and I did win, but it was tougher than I thought. Tougher than I had anticipated. All right, the light side wins. Hooray! What a fun game. Now I will try as the dark side. Ha ha ha. And it is 10:18 already. Okay. In real life, 10:18. Now, how do I what do I press? So like reset an F key, I guess. I think it's one of the F keys. Here we go. Let's do computer light. Excuse me. Eric says, nicely done. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, we'll do computer light. I usually let them go first because I'm that much of a gentleman. Excuse me. Should we go with an aggressive assassin approach? Oh, I have to switch joystick port. That's weird. Even when you're playing 2-player. I mean, when you're playing 1-player, you have to use port 2. Play the dark side. All right, I'm gonna do just my standard stuff. I'm gonna try to free up the basilisks. I'm tempted to do like teleport, shapeshifter to genie or something like that while it's black. Let's do it. Let's get a little aggressive. Let's do it. That'll be fun. Then maybe I could even try to take out the unicorn the next turn. All right. If I lose this, I'm going to feel stupid, but... Ha ha ha! Take that, genie. Shapeshifters rule. Now, is he going to attack me first? No. Let's get this shapeshifter and doing some damage. If I can take out 2 unicorns and a genie, that would be amazing. Don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched up. Oh, I took a hit, but hey, the shapeshifter apparently doesn't get damaged, so no harm, no foul. Oh, here comes the knight. On a black square, that's pretty dumb to do. In general, though, if you can catch a shapeshifter on a light square with a knight, that's actually a great move. But, you know, don't do it like that. That's dumb. Maybe if I was a bad player. Dan the Man said never used the time shift spell. Really? Didn't even know there were day and night phases. I used some strategy staying on lighter dark squares and power circles, but mostly used reflexes to win, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's kind of mostly what you can do. If you have good enough reflexes, the rest of it doesn't matter, I suppose. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting feature of the game, the whole day and night thing. Hey, this is working out pretty well, this shapeshifter. Now another player could probably play smarter. As you can see, I'm mostly playing it like wait and see. I wait for him to come into my line of sight. I try to pick him off and duck out of the way. A human being would pick up on that and try to change their tactics. Even like not the best player of a human being would probably do that. So, you know, play against a human being is a whole other ball game. All right, the shapeshifter is cleaning up the board. I love it. Before it gets light, I might try to move out my dragon. Let's do that. Revive with a genie. Yep, okay. Let's free up my basilisk. If I can do it. Well, that trick never works. To quote Rocky the Squirrel. That trick never works. Watch me pull a rabbit out of my head. Okay, basilisk is safe. Oh, on the black space, come on. Phoenix battles can sometimes be kind of grueling. Not grueling, as I almost said. Not easy. Oh God, we're gonna be here for 10 minutes. Ah. And he got me a little bit, and then I got him a little bit. Oh god. So silly. Oh, I hate you, Phoenix. Got me a little bit. Ah. I think I can win this, though. Maybe not. We're equal at this point. I might actually lose. Would this be the end of the shapeshifter? The glorious reign of terror. Oh, the button's not working. What the hell? I was definitely recharged, but the button wouldn't work. All right, fine. Okay. Let's free out Banshee, I guess. I can always res the shapeshifter. Ding bong. All right, these guys are paused to take a couple power points. I think I can do this. Yeah, let's get Basilisk to kill, to avenge the the shapeshifter. Ah, take that, stupid Phoenix. I hate you. What are you gonna do, Mr. Light? He's gonna run away. I don't want to be on this dark square anymore. It's too scary. Basilisk. Alright, my plan is to get the dragon over to the wizard, and then hopefully claim the final power point if I can win that battle. Alright, so I'm gonna leave the goblin here, no biggie. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. He might imprison my dragon as soon as I put him here, though. What should be a totally understandable move. I could do shift time and then he'll shift it back. That's how he does it. I forgot the computer does that, but it rang a bell after last time. Okay, it didn't imprison. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can do a dragon versus wizard. Here we go. Now the dragon, the wizard, we haven't seen him in battle tonight. And he's just like the sorceress, but his shots do more damage, but they don't go as quickly. I tend to do worse against the very rapid shots, so hopefully I'm better against the wizard than I am against the sorceress, is what I'm getting at. They're still pretty fast, though. Ah. Oh, painful. Okay. I only got some good hits on him, but he's gonna heal up quite soon. I'm far too amused by that. Alright, so what now? Thinking of doing shift time, but yeah, I think he's just gonna undo that. Let's do it anyway. Let's try to make it darker. Here you go, shift time back. No, he's not doing it. Okay. Oh, okay, he's starting to advance with his genie. Okay, should I imprison it? Yeah, I feel threatened by that. I'm gonna imprison him. Imprison him and then try to send somebody else at the wizard. Maybe I'll just um resurrect the dragon. First we imprison the genie, then I'll res the dragon. What's he doing? Shift time. Okay, of course. Ha. The shapeshifter is tempting, but I find if I recall correctly, I kind of suck with a shapeshifter fighting the wizard on a white square. And Dan Demand said Phoenix on Phoenix can take forever. Remember watching someone setting the computer versus computer fight for a really long time. Yeah, it can be challenging. The charmed square. I don't know why it says that. I think it just has to be adjacent to the sorceress, but place it within the charmed square is kind of vague. Wizard conjures a spell, imprison the dragon. Oh man. All right, so much for that. That's a good move for him because this is gonna turn white, and then the genie can just attack it on a white square. So what can I do about the wizard though? I might actually teleport a basilisk. I've had good luck with basilisks against the wizard. I think I can't teleport. I already did teleport. I could do an exchange, but none of them are on black space. They're all on white. Let me do Cease Conjuring for the moment. I think I am going to try to advance the basilisk. Unfortunately, they're kind of slow. It's going to take a few turns. Knight versus basilisk. Okay. They asked for it. I don't know. Very slow moving. And basilisks are poning. It's almost going to be white, though. I'm tempted to just protect the basilisk by moving him away. But honestly, he's kind of out of range of anybody who can harm him at the moment. And now he knows my basilisk is threatening the wizard. Do I want to just go for it? I guess there's no point in waiting. So, oh, but the, no, this dragon is not going to be unimprisoned until it turns black. Yeah, I guess TBD if the genie attacks him. He's got to do it. Why would he not? Did I imprison already? I don't remember. Didn't I imprison the genie before? Or thought about it at least. I do have summon elemental. I could try to take out the genie with an elemental now to protect my dragon. However, on the white square, it might not work out. So I might do that. Or I could just go for the wizard right now. Let's do the elemental versus genie. We got a fire. Yeah, take that, genie. All right. An elemental well spent. What are you going to do now, boy? That's what you're going to do? Okay. Let's do it. Basilisk versus wizard. If I win this, I've pretty much got this game in the bag. But if I don't, I don't. There we go. Here comes the golem to avenge his master. How dare you? You're slow and dumb. I'm not afraid of you. Yeah, let's wrap this up. We'll get this, let's gotta get these last PowerPoints. Thing is, Dragon's in prison, and I'm not really fantastic with manticores or banshee. Let's try the banshee just for the fun of it, though. They're kind of fun. See what I can do. That's right, they're not protected by their scream. Ah. I thought they could move while you had that on, but I'm wrong. I might be thinking of the wraiths in Archon II. Okay, the brave knight. I am a brave knight. I can slay the man. I shouldn't get... Okay. I was gonna say I shouldn't get too cocky, though, because if you can charge up to me, if I just miss, like, twice, it could have charged up to me and gotten a kill. Nonetheless, I just flattened that thing. All right, let's do Manticore versus Archer. Ruby. Alright, if I can just hold the fort here, I just need to kill a Valkyrie and then I've won. However, another brave knight is attempting to slay the Manticore. I keep calling the Manticores a Basilisk. Manticores kind of suck, but the Basilisks are good. Alright, I mean, this should be it. What do I kill the Valkyrie with, though? Unfortunately, the dragon needs another turn in jail. Actually, I can't really attack it with anything else except the goblin, which is going to die, probably. I mean, I could run the... No, the Manticore can't reach. Basilisk, not Manticore. I mean, I could just wait a turn, I guess. I'll advance the Banshee for the heck of it. Okay, now the dragon is free. What are they doing? The knight... this is a desperation move for sure at this point. Okay. So, I think this should do it. Dragon versus Valkyrie should not be difficult. That'll be the game. I haven't won yet. He's stuck. Oof. Ta-da! The forces of evil have prevailed. The game is ended. The dark side wins. Ha 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 ha. All I have left is a golem and a knight, and that is Archon I. I promised to play both Archon games this stream, so we better move on, because the more complex Archon II needs to be played. So let's do that. Good game, Archon. This is a blast. I was making a joke earlier today. You know, I like to think about remaking games. I am trying to remake a different game currently, but if I ever remake Archon, I'm going to call it Marcon. Ha! Yeah, I'm corny. I know. Let's play Archon 2 though, and I'll check out the the manual for that as well. You know, the computer puts up a good fight, and if it didn't get stuck on barriers so much, it might actually give me trouble personally. So where's my manual? Here we go. Archon 2. Adept. Gotta see this quick. Yeah, here's all our units. Adept, Giant, Behemoth, Kraken, Siren, Thunderbird, Ifrit, Salamander, Firebird, Juggernaut, Wraith, Gorgon, Chimera. Yeah, the demons, both sides have the 4 demons. Otherwise, the other 4 units are unique per side. All right, let's delve into the manual a little bit. Dan the Man says the combat in this game always reminded me of a faster, better version of Mail Order Monster, which I also loved playing. Both games way better playing with friends and computer, of course. Yeah, the problem with I actually like mail order monsters, but one problem I have with it is because of the scrolling, if you're like a faster guy than the other, you can pretty much just run away and try to shoot and perpetually run away, or just escape entirely. Anyway, let's review the manual. And then we'll jump into the game. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I felt like I spent like a half hour on the manual of the last game. I lost my browser that had the manual up. Here we go. Alright, long had the master of order struggled with the mistress of chaos. Ancient as time, changeless as death was their conflict, waged in mundane realms by magically potent adepts. No more. The old secure wellsprings of magical energy are failing. To control the new sources, the adepts are bringing forth new armies of reluctant demons and elementals, long unsummoned. Change is at hand and the battle would find an end. This is that battle. The ending is yours. Alright, so we're a little bit cut off here. We got the 2 screens. The game is played on 2 screens. I'll probably skim over this a little faster. You got the main board and the battle screen. You get the idea. You begin the game with 4 adepts on a side. On each turn, you may use that whatever magical energy you have left to 1, move an adept, or 2, use an adept to cast a spell, including summon, which lets you bring new icons into the game, or 3, move an icon conjured up with a summon spell on a previous turn. Winning. You win the game if you occupy all 6 power points at once. We have 6 instead of, what was it, 5 in the other game? All 6 at once, or if you triumph in the apocalypse, evocable with a special spell. You also win if your opponent runs out of magical energy or icons. And we have over here the board. The main board is composed of 4 bands representing the classical elements of earth, water, air, and fire. Additionally, there are 4 squares which are not part of any band. 2 are black neutral squares representing the void. Yeah, they're right here, the void and the other void. The others are citadels. We have the chaos side citadel and the order side citadel. Those are the home squares of order and chaos. While the void squares can be occupied by icons just like any position in the 4 bands, the citadels remain empty throughout the game. There are 6 flashing power points. 2 are the void squares. The other 4 move from turn to turn through the outermost corners of each of the 4 elements. Occupation of the 6 power points is the major goal of the game. That's right. So, yeah, so, you know, you'll start out with something like the 4 and the fire, and these 4 corners will have the power points. And then, like, I think both players go, and then they'll move to here in air, and so on. They rotate, essentially. But the void power points are always constant. All right, so let's check this out. Movement. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna gloss over some obvious stuff. Elementals and demons slide freely along the element they are on. You may slide them as far as you like with 2 restrictions. They cannot pass another icon, and they cannot end their move atop a friendly icon. Alternately, you may jump them from one element to an adjacent one in a turn. On a turn. No icon may slide and jump on the same turn. Adepts can teleport anywhere on the board, but it costs them a bit of magical energy to teleport from one element to another. Sorry, I'm kind of not having everything centered on the screen here. There we go. Instead of a move, the adept can cast a spell. Skipping some obvious stuff. But everything costs magical energy. Instead of each spell only being castable once, you have like a concept of mana, basically. You gain energy, they call it energy, from each power point you occupy, and for the first few turns only from your home citadel. Moving icons is mostly free, but it takes magical energy to maintain each demon and elemental on your side, so that each one has like an upkeep cost, and substantial amounts to cast spells. The cost of different actions is shown by the mark, which appears next to the energy bar as you explore your options. You will not be allowed to take actions you don't have the energy for. Adepts cannot cast spells from a void, and they're immune. From a void, and adepts are immune to all spells except heal on the void. Demon, so sorry, a spell is summon. This is far and away the spell you'll use most often. When you select it, you may choose among 4 elementals and 4 demons by moving the frame from monster to monster. The cost of energy goes up as you move up the column of choices. Remember, Adept magic works only within the element of the conjuring Adept. An Adept in fire cannot, for instance, summon an icon to the band of earth. You may summon an icon and directly attack an opposing icon, but it takes extra magical energy to do so. And Adepts are immune to such attacks. Yeah. So basically you can always choose to summon a thing, a creature, they call it elementals or demons, and you can put it right on an opponent except an Adept, and it costs extra. Or you can summon it and then move it to the opponent, but that'll kind of take 2 turns, so that's the trade-off. Here's our spells. We got Heal, Weaken, cuts their lifespan in half. Spell actually cures half the damage and all paralysis. Imprison is like in the last game, except we don't have the concept of light and dark, but what you do have is a maintenance cost. So they're imprisoned forever, but you pay a maintenance cost in energy every turn. Except you have the release spell. You can unimprison them with release. If you forget about it, I remember doing that before. You could like forget what you have in prison, so you'll just be spending energy every turn, maintaining the prison essentially. Banish is very expensive to cast. On the other hand, an icon you can't defeat can be very expensive to try to live with. Yeah, it just poofs it out of existence. Occupied power points on elements without adepts make very tempting targets. Oh, so you can even do it on a guy who's on a PowerPoint. Wait, is that what it's saying? Occupy power with elements without adepts. Yeah, I guess so. Apocalypse. This is a weird thing about the game. You can just cast this Apocalypse spell, which makes the final battle happen. And that determines the whole game. Your icon's lifespan, missile power, and missile speed depend on your magical energy, icons remaining, and adepts left, respectively. Used to put a hopelessly overwhelmed enemy out of his misery or as an act of suicidal desperation. Attack methods. Blah, blah, blah. It describes how you attack. It's kind of the same as an Archon. When its lifeline is gone, the icon is dead. Important except for the Juggernaut and the Wraith. You cannot move icons while pressing the joystick button. The attack interval is similar. Got a high note for the Order and a lower one for Chaos. Attack styles. One thing that I'm never got used to in the game is the Adepts. They have these steering missiles, but it's kind of hard to control very well, I always thought. So you can just stand there and hold down the button and move their missile around. The Gorgon does not wound, it paralyzes, so it slows down critters. After every hit from a Gorgon's I-beam, an icon moves more slowly. When it can no longer move, it dies. Yeah, it doesn't actually damage their life. It slows them until they turn to stone. Wraiths are not nice. They're invisible except when they're trying to hurt you and to reload. They can they can move even when they attack. Their circular attack aura steals the life force from all caught in it. Wraiths can leave battles stronger than they enter them. It can be devastating in the hands of the skillful. They're especially interesting in 2-player because they're invisible, but you as the controller cannot see them either. But in computer opponent games, they let you see it because it's like, what's the point of hiding it from you? When the Firebird explodes, it cannot be hurt nor can it move. It's just like the Phoenix. But unlike Archon's Phoenix, you can end the explosion early by releasing the button. That's right, you have control over the shh. You can just end it early if you're like not in an optimal spot. Sirens don't have to aim. Press the button and they start singing and their opponents start dying. If you're attacked by one, don't waste time wondering what to do or the problem will be solved for you. You just gotta charge in and kill them. They're just gonna sing you to death. Juggernauts are in effect their own missiles. In missile mode, they only travel in straight lines and they are invulnerable except to the song of the siren. Excuse me, and this is the cost of everything. There's no real point in looking at this. Except you can see Banish is quite expensive. You can see that elementals tend to be cheaper than demons all around. Alright, that's it. That's the game. Somehow it's a quicker and it's a more complex game than Archon 1, but the manual is like a lot briefer. Briefer, more brief, one of those. Alright, why don't we jump into this? What do we do here? F something. What do I press? Not that key. Not that key. Did I pause the game or something? Tell me I didn't like crash it or something. I hit some key to pause it, I guess. I paused the demo. It's kind of funny, the manual doesn't even tell you, like, hey, you gotta press this F key to do that. Or whatever. There we go. I reset it. All right. What's happening here? What am I supposed to press? Run stop? Press run key to continue. Okay, it's gonna give me this little song and dance, but I think you can skip it somehow. Let me swap joysticks. I think I only need joystick 1. All right, let me play. Let me play. Okay, so what do we want to do? Not 2-player. I'll do computer order. Chaos. I don't know what the benefit of chaos versus order first is in this game. In Archon 1, it has to do with the cycle of light and dark, but I'm not sure if there's an advantage to starting second. I'll let the computer go first anyway, though. And I think there's different difficulties. Where do you set those? I know I've seen that before. Huh. I find the computer in this game can really wreck me unless I get a little more generous with the difficulties, but I don't know, I didn't see the option somehow. I'm like 99% sure there's beginner and stuff like that. I don't know, I'll just play, I guess. All right, so right. First few turns, basically you're usually teleporting your adepts to these power points because they start not on the corners of each element. I think the best way to do it is because next turn the power point is going to move to air. I think I want to move one of these adepts to an air corner like so. Yeah, I think that's the right way to do it. You can notice we're getting energy for existing, basically, the first couple turns. Then the power points give it to you. Let me make the sound a little bit louder. I think I turned it down earlier. Okay. And over to the earth element. Now, the earth creatures are the cheapest of the elements. Then it goes in order, like earth, water, air, fire. Yeah, the computer likes to make a creature on the earth as its first turn. I remember that. I guess I'll go to fire. I'm really trying to remember how. I think you have to go to another menu to set the difficulties. Anyway, we'll see what I can do. If I die, I die, right? All right, he's summoning something on the fire, probably a salamander. So again, these there's one creature that does best in each element, and then there's the 4 demons who are just equally good everywhere, pretty much. So I guess I might as well play it straight for now. I remember finding the Ifrits good. When I was in my prime in this game, I'd often make the Ifrits everywhere, like even on fire and stuff. I would usually do the best with them. And I would often try to take the void with them. To take the void, you have to step next to the void, and then the subsequent turn, you just slide over there. But for now, let's just play it a little bit more basically. I'm going to try to get these corners. Typically what happens is you spend, you know, whatever it's 8 turns teleporting your adept and then summoning to a second corner. Then you have each side has adept on a corner and a critter on a corner. And then at that point you start making more aggressive moves. So I'm going to make a siren who is good at the water. Put her right there. Order cast a spell. Summon Kraken. Yep. Release the Kraken. I'm going to make the behemoth. They do a karate chop there. I think they're the only melee units, really. They're kind of like the goblins, but they're fast and they're pretty strong, so they're not like garbage. He's gonna make another giant. Giants look like the golems in Archon 1, and they play just like them too. Dan the Man said, no wonder I've never played Adept more than once or twice. I would definitely need the manual to figure this game out more than the first Archon. I probably tried it as a kid and gave up without help. I could see that, yeah. That's why it helps to buy the game. All right, I'm gonna go with. Do I want to go with Firebird? I feel like my old strategy was usually I wasn't really too good with Firebird, just like how I'm not good with Phoenix in Archon 1. So I'd usually go with a Demon. But again, I'm just gonna play it kind of straightforward. So I'm just getting used to things again. I don't want to get too special. All right, let's see what this order spell is. He's probably gonna attack one of my guys or go for claiming a void space. He's attacking my Firebird with a Gorgon. I think I'm gonna lose this fight, unfortunately. All right, let's see what I can do. So the Gorgon doesn't damage you, but it slows you to death. Okay, I nicked it a little, but jeez. Alright. Yeah, the Gorgons are tough. Alright. So now I've only have one of 3 corners on fire, which is not fantastic. Alright. I probably shouldn't have made a Firebird. I know I suck with him. What I'm gonna do though, my move is gonna be to try to claim the void. And he's not gonna like that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put my Ifrit. Now, again, I was good with the Ifrits back in the day. I'm gonna see if I can still play with them pretty well. He's probably gonna attack my Ifrit. He imprisoned him actually. Okay. So that costs him mana every turn to maintain the prison. Alright, so now I can try to I can always make another one to go for the void here, maybe. Or I could try to attack on water, because they don't have 3 of the points on water if I can win this battle. Who do I want to kill a Kraken, though? Who do I remember who's good at killing Krakens? I mean, I can always try the Siren. I feel like the Sirens usually get in some good damage, but they don't win a battle often. And the Kraken has a lot of health, if I recall correctly. Let's do the Siren for the heck of it, though. It's kind of fun watching the Siren action. They just sit there and sing. You hold down the button and it plays the title screen song. They're singing singing at the enemy and their life goes down as they sing. Here we go. You can try to dodge, but it's usually not worth it. Unless you're maybe like, unless you have obstacles. If you're on Earth, you have obstacles. But they're natural on the water, so I don't know. So that didn't work, but it did damage the Kraken. I can always send another one. Here comes a Juggernaut. Oh, great. Oh, well. The Juggernauts, they just shoot their bodies at you. That's their attack. Yeah, alright. It's rough. Once he was on top of me, I realized I just couldn't dodge him anymore. I had to just try to sing my head off and try to damage him as much as I could. Alright, so I'm kind of not doing great, but... Well, let's see if we can claim the Earth. They want to do it with a behemoth. Maybe I'll go for one of the demons. I don't know. I can make my own Gorgon. Let's see how this goes. They're expensive, and again, you look. If you teleport on top, I mean, if you summon on top of an existing enemy, you can see that little line. It's an extra cost. We went over that in the rules a minute ago. Okay, I already hit him once, and he's slow to begin with, so that helps. There we go. And Rick A said I never played it either. I would just load it up and watch the computer fight itself. That's funny. Yeah, I think you kind of had to have the manual for this game. And back in the day, you couldn't just dig up a PDF on the internet. Cast Weaken on my Gorgon. Okay. Somehow I have a lot more energy than him, even though he's mostly kicking me around. I wonder if I am playing like easier or something by default. So next up is fire. I wonder if I should try to reclaim the fire. Who am I good at on fire? And again, I do suck with the Firebirds. You want to go with a demon of some sort? Gorgon versus Gorgon could be fun. Should I try it? I feel like I want to try other things, but I also know the Gorgons are nasty. I could go for his Salamander. Salamanders are kind of like the unicorns. They just trot around fast. They zip around, shooting quickly. I don't know what I'd be good. I could try the Chimera. They're very expensive, though. The Chimeras have 3 attacks. They shoot like a fire blast. They shoot like a wide blast that's slower. I think it's supposed to be like the Kraken's attack, and then the 3rd attack is a melee stinger, and it alternates every attack. It goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you just burn off the stinger when you're not able to melee them. That's quite an expensive demon, and it's an extra cost again to do this, but I'm gonna go for it. The most expensive unit in the game, not necessarily the best one. Burned off the stinger. Yeah. Tried again with the stinger, but it didn't work. Jeez. I kind of don't like that most of the levels except Earth don't really have barriers. The fire, you just you get damaged if you walk into it. Oh, he just teleported his wizard to the void there. Interesting. Okay, so he's kind of giving up the Earth for the moment. As long as I can take out the giant, I'll have all of Earth. Really, I gotta start fighting better. Let's try to get air here. Should I try to kill the Juggernaut? Let's try to kill the Juggernaut with an Ifrit. Now, the air is interesting, actually, because there's these little tornado-looking obstacles that bounce your attacks around randomly. And for the Juggernaut, that means it's bouncing his whole body around, essentially. In unpredictable ways. You never know how the little tornado guys are gonna bounce you around. Oof. All right. Had a good victory finally. Feels good, man. He's still paying to imprison my Ifrit. He's summoning a Thunderbird to take on my Ifrit. Okay. It's kind of scary when those fast missiles randomly bounce around. Oh, he's gonna get me. Yeah. Alright, so I didn't really hold the advantage on air for very long. Over to water. We're not on water yet. Okay. I remember beating the Krakens pretty well with a Gorgon, but again, they're quite expensive. I'm actually getting quite low on energy at this point. I have to kind of win more battles. Obvious statement. Ugh. Okay, I survived. Killed it. Okay, let's collect some delicious energy from this power point right away. Now I've got to hold the water. He's going to attack the water. Probably the Gorgon. Chimera? Okay. Let's see what I can do. Ah, damn. I slowed him down a lot. I don't know if he retains that slowness damage. I can't remember. Well, should I try to at least conquer the Earth? Let's conquer the Earth. What do I want to attack the giant with? Do another Gorgon? I don't know if I can afford these guys. Let's try to get let's do a Wraith. They're a little cheaper. It'll be at least fun to see the Wraith. Yeah, my energy's getting quite low. So these are normally invisible in a 2-player game, but they're kind of grayed out in single player. There's no point in making them invisible. He's actually winning. Okay. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised. You know, it's the Wraith drains his life. Alright, so he actually got me weaker. In a good Wraith battle, you'll actually come out stronger. You could argue that's sort of an economic victory for him because the Giants are so cheap and he did weaken my Wraith. But it feels good to have this right now. I have all of Earth. And I'm charging up a little bit better. But yeah, Fire's coming next, and it would be good to take one of these corners. It's just getting so low on energy somehow. What I mean somehow. I mean, obviously he's winning in... I'm winning in one of the elements. He's winning in two of them. And we're balanced in the air. He's still in prison, right? Yeah. Well, what can I take on these guys with effectively? What did he kill my Gorgon with? Was it the Kraken? Yeah, I can't make a Kraken. I don't know what to do. I can always go for the Void again. I can make another Refreet. He's about to take on the Void. I could imprison him. But that upkeep cost is going to be brutal. I've actually had good success fighting Adepts in the Void. It's like everybody's weaker in the Void. I don't know. Maybe I'll make something for Fire, but I will not put it directly on the opponent. Should I go for a Juggernaut? Have I used a Juggernaut yet? I don't think I have. They're kind of challenging. They can either be really nasty or just really crappy. I guess I'm going to go for it. I'm going to put it next to the Gorgon because I'm so low on energy, though. Oh, he's actually low, too. Look at him. I didn't realize that. He's got barely anything. Casting Heal on his Juggernaut. Okay, so mote it be. Should I do it? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to run over this Gorgon with my car. Let's see if I can avoid getting hit at least. Damn it. Hit and run didn't work. He's going for the Void. Okay. I think he's going to outpace me energy-wise unless I can somehow claim the Void too or beat him on these elements where I'm losing all the time. What should I do? He healed that Juggernaut. It does suggest he didn't actually heal on his own in all those turns. What can I do with this Chimera? Can I get it with a Siren maybe? I mean, the good thing about Sirens is you can usually get some guaranteed damage in. They might die, but you can always like throw 2 or 3 Sirens at them and get them that way. But I'm gonna just threaten him like this first, just because it's so expensive. Oh, geez, he's doing Adept to my Wraith right away. Okay, he wants to get Earth back. All right, this is gonna be tough. He's charging into me. Oh, okay, that worked, I guess. I hit him a little bit. I like drained his life. Gave him a flesh wound. All right, let's see if I can do this Hail Mary sort of thing. Not Hail Mary, it's the Sirens are kind of like an attrition unit. Try to dodge a little bit. All right. Get away. All right. Maybe a second Siren will do the job. Maybe it'll take 2 more. I don't know. Here comes a giant. I think my Gorgon can handle him. We'll see. Before I had good luck in this battle. He did hit me once, which is why I'm still weak. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna go for one of the Voids, I guess. Can I... What spells do I have? Imprison, Release, Weaken... Banish. Banish is so pricey. Apocalypse. I think I'm going to summon another Efreet. See if they imprison him too. He's gonna imprison him too, isn't he? Nope. Oh, he's hopping that guy over there. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna try this. I can get this void, it'll be great. If I can't, it'll suck. Thing about the void is you fight in this big open. Gee, I'm sucking. Ugh. Well, well, well. Not my best. He's healing his Chimera. So much for... I mean, it costs so much for him to heal, so in a way, it's not the worst thing. Yeah, I would love to be able to take out either the Chimera or the Juggernaut, but how? I mean, it could just keep throwing sirens at them. I don't know. It's... I'm losing the energy battle here. I didn't even hit the salamander with my freeze. This Ivry's still imprisoned, right? Yeah. Oh, I can move. It's not in prison. All right, let's just go for it. I don't know. I lost before, but... All right, I got the void. The void is mine. Barely alive. He's gonna teleport to the void. He likes to do that. He likes to just teleport right to the void with his wizards. All right, I hit him once. If I get another Ifrit in there, I think I can finish him. Killing a wizard would be huge. If I have much energy. All right, but you know what? Next turn is Earth, so let's claim Earth. Let's make a cheap behemoth to occupy the power point. I got all 4 of those charging. Oh god. Teleporting around with those adepts. More than I'm comfortable doing. Alright. I am gonna go for the killing the adepts with a freeze. I'm gonna just keep throwing a freeze at him. Cast a spell, summon, giant again. All right. So Behemoth does karate chops. Let's see if I can manage this. They're pretty tough and fast, though. What's he doing that thing? Or he's like pausing with his attack? I don't. It's weird. Okay, that's interesting. Karate chop. Yeah, take that. Yeah, karate chop for the win. Behemoths are pretty cool. They seem a lot better than the Archon 1 melee guys. Alright, we're going for it. It's gonna be crazy. Possibly suicidal. Nah, but if I was able to get that one hit, it would have killed him. So I think it is worth doing that sometimes. Like while he's injured, I think I just gotta keep plugging at it with the hopes that'll somehow get it. But you know what? For now, Wizard is actually, I mean, Water has opened up. What the hell are you doing? Chimera on my... The most expensive unit against the cheapest unit. Okay. He's doing a pause thing too. Is that like his strategy against behemoths in general? Now melee versus melee, because he's in his stinger mode. I don't think that pausing might let me win the game, because it's kind of stupid for him to do that. Not win the game, but win the battles. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna just claim the water space that's open. Make a siren. I'll try to get on top of attacking the Adept again in the void. If I can. It's Adept against my siren. I'm just gonna hold the button, there's nothing else to do. Try to get in some singing damage. Okay. Do 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 do. I'm gonna keep plugging away at Mr. Adept here. He's gotta get another lucky hit. Cast a spell. Banish. You spent Banish on a behemoth? That's like the most expensive spell in the game. Alright, he couldn't handle my behemoth. I'm too badass. Let's do it. Gonna get this Adept. Yeah! Take that! You got 3 left. 1 down, 3 to go. And the void is mine again. Ha 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 ha. What are you gonna do, fool? Alright, let's claim air. Right here. Cast summon a Juggernaut. Oh, he's gonna attack my Efreet in the void with the Juggernaut. Alright, it's gonna be tough. Alright, do I want to try to attack water? I just feel like I can't win these fights too well. Maybe I just will keep throwing sirens at them. I mean, it weakened the Adept with a siren. If I throw like 5 of them at it, it'll kill it eventually. Is that the most economical choice? Maybe I should go for the Chimera? No, screw it. I'm going for the Adept. It's weakened. He's going to do something defensively. He's going to heal himself. He's weakening, spending his low energy. He doesn't have much left to weaken my siren because he sees it as a threat. All right. That's fair. Oh, can I take that back? I guess I can't. I'm thinking of summoning a critter on Earth because there's those 2 open spots. All right, let's try to weaken the Adept a little bit by singing. Da, 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 da. Okay. I'm whittling him down. Ha 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 ha. Earth. Welcome to Earth. He healed himself. All right. So that kind of sucks, but you know, it costs him. So, again, I kind of don't know what to do with these fire guys. I suck with the Firebird. At least I'm getting more energy now, so I feel more comfortable to maybe go and summon more critters to kill them with. What do I want to go for? The Salamander, the Gorgon? Could go for the Adept. Just wish I didn't suck with the Firebirds. Should we do Gorgon versus Gorgon? I don't know. Sure, let's do it. I'll save the energy and do it for next turn, though. I'll put him here. Look how low on energy he is. He's doing terribly, actually. Oh, look at that. He's gotten barely anything. He spent another heal on himself. All right, I'm going for you, Mr. Gorgon. Or Miss Gorgon. Damn. Oh, that shot did not hit it? Oh, damn. Maybe the shot gets destroyed when you die. Uh-oh. Here we come. All right. You gotta like play it like a bullfighter with these guys. Yeah, still alive. You gotta be like, Toro, come on. Toro. Okay. And if he's so threatened by my siren singing at him, we're gonna keep doing that. Here comes the siren. Can't summon on an Adept even if you're willing to pay the bonus cost. You know, the extra cost. Adept is going. He's like, screw this, Efreet. I'm taking care of it myself. Well, hopefully I can get in a shot at least. I did. I can do the same strategies before, get another Efreet after and finish him off. But for now, next turn is Earth, so I think I'll summon a Behemoth. All right. Okay, he's afraid of my siren. You know what? The space on fire opened up. Let's grab that with, I don't know. I wish I was so better with the fire burst. I'll just make one anyway. Maybe I just need more practice. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling myself. Oh, here comes the Adept back over. Oh, God. I'm gonna kill you, Firebird. Okay, fine. Fine. Ah, jeez. Wrecked me. But I'm going after this Adept. Oh, there's two Adepts I want to kill. Ah, two down, two to go. They're just weaker in the void, and yeah, you get in one good hit with their Ifrit, then get another one with the next Ifrit, and you got them. I gotta move that Siren in eventually, but for now I'm gonna keep claiming power points as they free up, such as this one. And here comes a Salamander to take the void. He'll probably win because my Ifrit's beat up. Oh, maybe not. I guess he would beat up too. Yeah, Ifrit's in the void, baby. Well, fire is next, and there's two open spots. I think I'm gonna win this. I could just put a cheap behemoth just to occupy a spot. I'm gonna do it. They're the best in the earth, but I just want to get a guy to soak up power. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, okay. Haven't you learned your lesson? Haven't you learned your lesson? I died, but I took him out too. Only one Adept left. Okay, he's kind of walking into my traps there, sort of. Yeah, let's make another Ifrit. Claim that. He still has more energy than me somehow. Gorgon's gonna attack my Adept. Oh shit! This is kind of a desperation move, and yet I'm not really good at fighting with the Adepts, so it's kind of not a bad move necessarily. He's slow from the previous Gorgon. I wonder if I can make another one that just finishes him off right now. I'm kind of afraid to do that. It's gonna cost a lot. I'll just do it. Oh man, it's gonna be pricey. Okay. Hopefully I can win this battle though. This is to protect my Adept, so it might be worth it. Look how slow she is. Probably my Adept could have dealt with that actually. Yeah. Okay, how's he got so much energy? I got a sliver. I mean, next turn is Earth, so I'll gain more, I guess. But let's grab the Void. Juggernaut's going for my Adept. Oh my god. Let's get Gorgon here, so she's at least gathering energy in the fire zone. I guess he's got so much energy because he's got very little troops left at this point. So there's no upkeep. My behemoth is gonna karate chop him. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. All the Adepts dead with the karate chop guy out of his element. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, apocalypse. This is what happens when there's no masters left, I guess. It's the final battle. Oh god, I'm missing. It's just too much riding on one battle. Alright, but it makes my stats better because I'm doing better, essentially. That's why I won. Yeah, baby. And then the man said the layered rings design of the board kind of reminds me of the Talisman board game you played before. That I like. Yeah, I actually agree. I've made that connection myself before. Just has no barriers, traversing the rings, and a completely different gameplay, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, you have no barriers, but for your regular units, you can only move one space if you cross elements. I don't usually do that. It's kind of an expensive move. I'm surprised I won that. I didn't think I really Was going to for a while there. There we go. The game has ended. Chaos wins. All right. Thanks, Dan. Dan says nice win. It's kind of late, but I'm gonna try to play as the order side now. It's a good game, actually. I don't know. I'm still trying to think about my earlier statement about which one is better, and I think I generally think one is better. Again, I think this is the more advanced game, and I like it, and it's cool and all, but I don't know. Something about the attrition sometimes. This game can be a real grind once in a while. That game didn't take super long that time. They're both good. Let's put it that way. This game actually, obviously, we had 2 people in the chat say they couldn't figure it out without the manual. So the complexity or that learning curve is definitely something worth mentioning. I'm not sure I like that so much can come down to the one final battle, the Apocalypse. Someone either casts the Apocalypse spell, or I think it's when one player loses all their Adepts, it goes to the Apocalypse mode. Just, you get these weird versions of the Adepts fighting, and their stats are all based on things like how much energy you have, how many units you have. I think how many Adepts is one of them. So you can actually cast that spell by choice if you have like the advantage in the game. It all comes down to the one fight, and I find the Adepts, their whole thing in battle is that you can steer their shots, but I find it very difficult to actually steer very well. This is not me playing right now, by the way. Come on, how do you just get out of the... Gotta reset it again. Alright, so we're gonna try it as order. I think you have to watch this whole animation, unfortunately. Juggernaut. Okay, we're gonna do computer chaos and chaos first. Let's roll. I was always really good with Ifrits, and it kind of happened again that game. I was able to pull off some good kills with Ifrits. All right, Rick A says gotta go. Thanks. All right, thanks for joining, Rick. It was fun chatting with you. So I'm getting at here is I don't know if I'm gonna have that secret weapon in my arsenal because I was never as good with the Thunderbirds, which is the air unit that Order has, as I am with the Ifrits for some reason. Not sure if it's the wider shots or do they even do more damage. I don't know. And I have to swap joysticks again. Okay, so let's go to air, I guess. Go to Wawa. The karate chopping behemoths is fun. They made a melee actually viable, unlike in Archon 1. I mean, Archon 1, it can work sometimes, and they give you piles of knights or goblins, so it kind of makes sense. They're kind of like the pawns. Here we go, time to summon something. What's he going to make, a Firebird? Here comes Firebird. I will make a Thunderbird. He's gonna make an Ifrit probably. Oh, he's making a demon, a juggernaut. He's so big on the juggernauts. I call the computer a he for some reason. I'm going with the basic elementals again, like I did before. See how I feel about them as the game progresses. Scary sirens. At least I have a giant who can shoot, unlike the behemoths who must karate chop. No, but they're good, those behemoths. I like how they have a flat head too. I don't know. It's kind of funny. All right, we might as well make the salamanders. I like them way better than the firebirds. That's for sure. Now something's gonna happen. We're gonna have a fight on our hands probably. A Juggernaut attacking my Salamander. Alright. I hate those freaking Juggernauts. Toro. Yeah. Take that, Juggernaut. All right, I could attack his Juggernaut in the air. I could go for the Void. Let's go for the Void. I bet he imprisons me again. Here it comes in prison. Oh, weaken. All right, fine, weaken me. I'll get the Void and collect the energy while I'm a little weaker. Who cares? He's casting Gorgon against my Kraken. All right. All right. Damn it. When they zip all around, I don't know how to get them. All right. Should I go for Earth? Or another Void? Let's go for another Void. It seems to be working well for me. And his response? He's gonna go kill my giant... He's casting a... I find the Earth Sirens work surprisingly well. Sometimes, because you get these rock barriers to hide behind and run around. But that time, they didn't really... The layout was kind of unfortunate for the Siren. There wasn't really like areas to, like corners to run around or barriers to duck behind. All right, I got the 2 Voids in now. He's probably not going to stand for that much longer. He's going to like do something about that. Summon a Juggernaut. All right, once again, he likes those Juggernauts. Let's see if my Salamander can hold up. He's weakened from before, unfortunately. Ah, damn. Got run over by a car. It's like a lizard getting flattened by a car. Alright. Alright, so he's got the edge on fire and water, but I have the 2 Voids. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Should I attack his Juggernaut with a Thunderbird? Maybe I'll try it. Try to get the air advantage. Now, there's difficulty level. I know they're there in the config somewhere. But it's not just how tough the opponent is. It's kind of like a handicap. And one of the things that changes is the behavior of the... the speed of the Juggernaut. If you play on, I think, beginner, they go faster or something like that. Anyway, that was a failure of an attack. So you can actually play like, it's not like you just play, you know, against the computer hard, easy, or medium. It's something like you could play one player beginner and the other beginner too, which is different from if both players are like, you know, advanced or whatever. Because the shots change. The Juggernauts I remember are especially dramatic in their difference. Discrepancy. Toro. Yeah. Keep making those expensive cars. They are tough. They're a challenge. I'm not good with them on the... I'm not good with them myself. I don't know what it is. I like to try them once in a while, but I've never found myself to be as good at them as the computer seems to be. So we got water coming up. Do I want to kill the Siren? Kill the Gorgon? I guess I'll go for killing the Siren with the Kraken. Gotta get close enough. Okay. That hurt the poor Kraken's ears quite a bit. Ow! That song. Now he's probably going to pick off the Kraken, who's quite beat up. Nope. What's he doing? Healing the Juggernaut. All right, fine. Should I heal my Kraken? I don't really care. They're cheap. Let's go for Earth. It's coming up. Should I go for the sometimes surprisingly dangerous Behemoth? I'm going to go for it. They just charge at you. They karate chop you, and they're tough. Oh, jeez. Look how much damage they do, too. I almost feel like they might have compensated for the weak melee guys in Archon 1 a little bit. Anyway, I beat it. I can't complain. Just beat the Behemoth, I mean. Yeah, so spell. I'm gonna take out the remaining health of my giant with a siren. It might work. Alright, I got in a hit at least. Threw a big rock at it as it finished me off. Kind of funny. Yeah, but yeah, those sirens, although, you know, again, they're not at their best in the earth, but the rocks can really help them. Okay, so here we are with fire coming up, which I don't have the advantage. Should I go for their Firebird? I'll try that. And I think the computer is much better with the Firebird than I am. But let's try to get it. Notice how they can let go of the puff. The poof. There's no reason to hold it down anymore. They can just cancel it by letting go of the button. So it's like a more advanced Phoenix. Alright, I came out ahead. Took a little damage. What's your next move, bro? The Water Mage is casting Gorgon. Oh god. I guess my beat up Kraken. Alright, let's charge at it. Charge! Yeah, well, I heard it. Might be worth following up on that combat, just finishing that guy off. What do we got? Air next. Let's just go for the air. Do the straightforward strategy. Let's kill the Juggernaut. Attempt to kill the Juggernaut. They're dangerous. They bounce around in the air. Ah, oh, jeez. Could have dodged that one. Ah, could have hit that one. Ah! Alright. Maybe for my next move, I'll try to beat up on that. Uh-oh. Alright, here we go. Nah. Yeah, let's try to finish this Gorgon. I beat it up with a Kraken. Let's try to finish it with a Kraken. Gotta get in close, though. Yeah! My slow as hell Kraken eked out a victory. What are you gonna cast on my Kraken? Another Gorgon? Juggernaut? Yeah, this thing's... My slow as hell Kraken is not gonna dodge the Juggernaut very well, is it? Okay, I did some damage. He loves those Juggernauts. Fire's coming up next. Let's make fire. I have created fire. Salamander right here in the upper left corner. Oh, actually, it's Earth next, but whatever, fine. Now my Thunderbird's gonna get attacked by this guy. Alright, fine. Oh. Yeah, I don't have quite the same luck with the Thunderbirds as I do with the Ifrits in that scenario, but I might keep plugging away at it. Speaking of plugging away, let's try to get the whole fire elements here. Like, if we can kill this Juggernaut, we'll have that. Damn it. Ah! Keep on top of you, good. Juggernaut is going for what? My Thunderbird, okay. Just rolling over there. Oh, come on. The bounce just worked right for him. Ah, damn. Well, might as well take back some air. It's coming up, and there's 2 free corners. Till the Adept moves now, or something. Adept is casting heal on that Juggernaut. Alright, fine. Your precious Juggernaut. Maybe I'll do Kraken against Gorgon again. Hopefully get in 1 hit. And weaken the bastard. Okay. I think I could have gotten it, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. I had an opportunity, I just couldn't land the hit. Alright, Juggernaut's attacking the Thunderbird. Oh, you see that? He lucked out with that bounce. Anyway, I killed it. Yeah, those air things, the tornado-looking things, are totally unpredictable. They just bounce the Juggernaut in a random way, it bounces your projectiles in a random way. Pretty neat. Pretty neat mechanic. Should we take out this Siren on Earth? Let's try to do it. Before, it was tough because my giant at the time was almost dead, but this one will be fresh and new. Cool. A fresh new giant. Cast a spell. It is another Siren. Okay. Hey, the Sirens are more expensive than the Giants, so I'll win that economic war. It's kind of hilarious. Sea creatures hanging out on the Earth element. Alright, I'm going for the Juggernaut again. I'm not always successful, but sometimes I am. And fire's coming up. Might as well go for it. Oh, he's injured. I forgot about that. Ta-da! I think I might want to have salamanders go after the void. That might work for me. Cast a spell on Earth. It is Gorgon against Giant. Why are you doing that? Alright, fine. So I get some barriers. Alright. Christ. Alright, fine. I think he was already damaged by a Gorgon before. Air is open. I'm taking it. Oh, he doesn't like that. Here comes his Earth Wizard to attack on air. Let's see if I can survive this at all. I got a hit. I'll take that. It's always good to get in a hit against an Adept. Then you know you can do it again. Just, I did it before. Let's repeat the combat and try to whittle him down somehow. If he doesn't heal, that is. We got water coming up next, or do I want to try to reclaim water in some way? Yeah, I guess. Keep throwing Krakens at the Gorgon, maybe. I don't know. I do okay against them, I feel like. It's just... It's not easy. There we go. Yay. Cast a spell. Heal. Okay, I mean, you can't blame him. But yeah, you're so low on energy, computer boy. Take this space. Summon the Nefrit. Okay, let us try taking out Adepts with a barrage of salamanders attacking the void. That's what I'm going to try. As long as I can get like one hit with each, it'll be a good thing. Here comes a Juggernaut. Oh god, Juggernaut battles can be too much. Ah, damn it. There's definitely more variety to the combat in this game than Archon 1. Alright, we're going for it. Let's try to get into hits. That's all I'm hoping for. Damn. I'm gonna keep trying though. I gotta find a way to kill them like I did with the Ifrits in the last game. Going for my Adept. Oh shit. Okay. Stuck with the Adepts. Ah, damn. That's not good. All right, gotta keep at it, right? I think I'm gonna keep going for my Salamander in the Void. I feel like I can get the hang of that. Don't have the hang of it yet, but I feel like I can potentially make that happen. Healing Juggernaut, okay. Yeah! Alright. So we each lost one Adept. I feel better about losing one after taking it up. But he's not happy. Like, I'm going to send my other Adept in at you. Yeah, you're going to get me. Alright, you did it. But hey, I know I can do it now, so I can do it again. Keep throwing salamanders. I always found that Adepts are easier to pick off in the Void. They have much less health. And for me, as you saw, I'm just not good at playing with them, unfortunately. And with my own Adepts, I mean. Oh shoot, they're gonna win if they just take this one square. Unless I do something about that. So I have to be careful of that. I need to take back air at least a little bit somehow. I'm not used to worrying about that, but I have to do it now. I guess I'm gonna move the fire guy. So I have pretty much a good handle on fire already. That's what I'm gonna do, I guess. So let's do that. I'm gonna teleport over here. My concern is, as I mentioned, I'm not good at fighting with the Adept, so they could always just try to attack that. Oh, Adept versus Adept. Oh shit. Okay. Alright, let's see what I can do. Gotta curve it up a little bit. Ah. I might not win this one. Being down 2 Adepts sucks. Oh, and he's poised to win next turn. Shoot. I have to do it again. I have to try to protect that air corner. Otherwise, all I have to do is summon one thing there, and that's it. Okay, I guess I am moving another Adept there. I gotta learn how to fight with them better. Cast a spell. Summon. Ifrit. Alright, so next turn he's gonna attack me with an Ifrit. I lost an Adept to an Ifrit already. Maybe it's worth weakening. Could just banish it. Let's do weaken. It's a lot cheaper. So hopefully that just means I just have to get like one hit and finish it off. It's casting what? Heal? Heal on itself. Alright, I mean I can understand that. Let's see if I can keep throwing salamanders at the adepts. Even though it's on air. I can put it here temporarily. That was happening. Heal itself again. Alright, it needs multiple heals. There we go. It's gonna try to get one hit in again. That's it. Ah, went diagonal by accident. Tis a pity. Heal his Ifrit. That's the one that killed my Adept. Alright. I mean, I guess I need to take back air a little bit. Let's try Thunderbird against Juggernaut. As you know, I never lose against a Juggernaut. Ha! I think my record's about 50-50 with it. They can be challenging. Especially when they advance on you like that. You gotta try to lure them to get into their charge mode. Alright. Taking back air a little bit. And Dan Demand says Apocalypse event should be more epic with citadels transforming into giant walking stone castles that crumble as they punch and hurl boulders at each other instead of just a simple adept forms. I agree, that sounds cool. Like in the Hobbit movie where the party barely survives stone giants battling while traversing the misty mountains. That does sound pretty cool. And what's the plan here? I still feel like I want to just keep throwing salamanders at the adepts. Maybe I should just do the Thunderbirds, though. I don't know. They're a little cheaper, and they're probably just about as effective. Water's coming up next. Can he... Alright. Maybe I ought to finish... I don't know. I mean, we're both not doing fantastic, but he's doing a little better, I think. Yeah, I gotta get these voids. Let's do Thunderbirds. What's he doing now? Summon. Free. Okay. He's being economical and not throwing him on the Thunderbird right away. Right. Again, just want to get in a hit. Get in a hit. Damn it. Sometimes I feel like I want to rewind that. I feel like I hit it and it just went through it. I'm going to do my instant replay and ask the umps to review. Alright, I guess I have no luxury of that now. Adept versus Adept. Oof. Oh, come on. Alright, I lost this game. And nonetheless, I'm going to review my replay because I think it's BS. Oh, looks like I missed it by a pixel. Jeez. Well, I'm not sure how to bounce back from this at this point. I have one Adept. He got 3. What's the plan here? Is there any plan? Gotta get those boys. That's the thing. I have my secret with the my secret weapon with the chaos is those Afrits I'm good at killing adepts with. I need something similar while I'm playing Order, but I'm gonna go over to the fire here for now. Cast a spell. Juggernaut. Alright. I mean, he's got an Ifrit poised to attack my Thunderbird. I don't know why he just doesn't do that. Anyway, we need focus in these Juggernaut battles. Ah, oh, come on. Alright. Bring out the Salamander. Yeah, I don't know. Nah, I'm not going to win Day in the Man if I do Apocalypse. I just can't win Adept versus Adept battles, especially when the stats are against me. Yeah, that's nice. All right. Salamander, you're my only hope. Bastard. I mean, the Apocalypse will be triggered when I lose the last Adept. Anyway, let's see. God. All right. Well, you know, if I lose now, I won 2 games of Archon 1 and 1 game of Archon 2, and I'll have lost 1 game of Archon 2. Not a bad record for the evening. Well, I could save a little energy and not summon another Salamander. Unfortunately, let's see. Next turn is Earth. I'm gonna keep at it. I feel like I can, if I get the knack for this will be a good tactic, just like I do with the Ifrit. Maybe I can do it with the Ifrits because their shots are wider is all. So maybe I just need to improve my accuracy a little bit. It's easier said than done, of course. Okay, I got a good hit in there. If I do that again, he'll be dead. I'm still lagging way behind here. Oh, shit. Okay, next turn he wins unless I can take out one of the air guys or the void. It'll take 2 turns to attack the void. So pretty much my only option is to bring an Adept in to attack one of these air guys. And unfortunately, this is one of my major weaknesses in skill in this game is actually fighting well with the Adepts. So who do we have the best chance against, though? Unfortunately, I think it's the Juggernaut. All right, here we go. This is crazy. Yeah. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive. And for those who aren't following, the reason he would win is because he would have all of the 6 power points. See, the 4 corners per element shift, and he has the 2 voids. He's had those secured for a while, unfortunately. The voids, that is. I'm gonna keep going after that Adept. If I can get another hit in with the Salamander, that would be huge. Cast a spell. Oh, here we go, Apocalypse. Okay, I don't have a choice anymore. All right, don't expect to survive this, but here we go. All right, I gave it a good go. That's the end of me. The game is ended, chaos. Alright, again, I consider it a pretty good record for the evening. 2-0 in Archon and 1-1 in Archon 2. Can't complain too much. But yeah, you know, I wonder if I could somehow learn how to... I'm kind of tempted to say I want to train up in this game and get better at fighting with the Adepts, because that could be a lot. That could make a huge difference. You can steer the missiles. It's just so hard to do it well. I usually just kind of shoot, and sometimes I try to like angle it a little bit as it's mid-flight, and I don't know, I'm never good at it. But yeah, the computer is pretty good with the adepts, so that makes it a huge difference. But yeah, I think it's time to call it an evening. So thanks for everyone who watched and chatted. That was a pretty active stream. I always appreciate when there's a lot of chatting and viewership. And that is Archon II and Archon I, both great games. You know, I always like to think about, whenever I play an old game that I really like, I like to think about if I could modify it, what would I do? Or remake it someday, perhaps. And I don't know what I would add, but I think it would be fun to like have optional factions. Like maybe Archon 1 could have like 4 different preset armies, and you could choose between any of the 4. It might just be fun to, if I had my own remake that I could just tinker, I could just add new units and see how they play out. And I think that would be a lot of fun to design. Anyway, also I'm a big nerd about Intellivision for some reason. I always think how the combat in these Archon games would be different on Intellivision. Could Intellivision handle this game? I don't know. The pixels would definitely be larger, but you could argue it doesn't really matter much. But the reason why I say that is the Intellivision has a 16 directional stick. So imagine the combat, and you're not quite limited to just those 8 directions. Could be interesting. That's kind of a dream. Maybe in my retirement, I'll remake more games. I am working on a remake of Utopia for Intellivision. That's another story. Anyway, that was some Archon 1 and 2 action. Thanks for joining me tonight, everybody. Yeah, you know what? It'd be fun to revisit this game. Maybe I can get Rob Bob to play with me sometime. That would be fun to see on stream. He would be learning the game because he obviously, being much younger than me, had never played this game in his youth. And Dan says change Apocalypse to giant transforming castle. Yeah, there you go. All right, Dan also says good night, Mark. Great stream. Learned a lot. Oh yeah, sure. I'm glad you learned something. You know, I never really realized that people who had played or tried to play Archon 2 just had to give up because it was too, like, you know, obscure or like unclear of how to play. What's the word? Obtuse, maybe. Yeah. So give it a try, maybe, if you have some time. It's definitely an interesting game. It's very different from Archon 1. To me, again, I always try to think of which is the better game. To me, this one has more. I don't know if they're flaws or just my own weaknesses. That's the thing. Like, again, I find the Adept so difficult to fight with that I'm just like scared. Like, you saw me play. I'm usually losing the fight. You would think I could take out in a free, like the computer was usually taking out mine. So I don't know. And yeah, it's a little less intuitive, as Dan said. It has a steeper learning curve. Yeah, but I still think it's a very good game. Definitely worth trying. All right, let me stop babbling. And so good night to you, Dan. And good night to everyone else in the chat. We had Rick A earlier. He had to go. And Ryan, one of our super regulars, he had to go too. Eric Johnson, I don't know if you're here, but thanks for chatting. I don't know why Eric is the only one with XP. He now has 100 XP. I don't know what this is. This is a new thing on YouTube. It says like top fans. Oh, I actually hit the question mark and it tells me, it says, top fans in XP, what's the leaderboard? A place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream, so you can always try again. How do you get in the leaderboard? You need to collect XP. Here's how you get them. Send live chat messages. Send super chats and super stickers. I don't even know what those are, but I think those are things you have to pay for or something, which I don't want anybody to do that. Anyway, I don't know. Somehow Eric Johnson is our leaderboard. All right, that's all I got for tonight. Thanks for the likes, by the way. We got 8 likes on the stream, which is pretty good for my humble little channel. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna play next week or this Saturday. This Saturday I cannot stream. I'm gonna be out. But next week on the old games, you know, I keep thinking I gotta resume my Ultima 4 game that I started last year. Maybe I'll actually do that. I don't know. We'll see what I feel like. Usually, like, I'm kind of going by my own whims regarding what I actually stream. Like today, I was like, I kind of feel like playing Archon. So here I am. Anyway, that's all. Thanks a lot, guys. Good night. Bye.